Ta-da! Hello, hello. Good evening. Ugh. Okay, no, there we go. Everything is working as intended. Maybe. Hopefully. I'm hoping, at least. I would like some sound on my game. Don't we think? I think we'd all like some sound on our game. There we go. You'd think I'd have finally come up with a way to do it all in the same breath, like, okay, change over to the actual starting screen, unmute myself, and unmute the game in the same second. But no. Half of that, I think, is simply because I'm still using just straight up desktop audio without trying to have everything come from a different part, but it is what it is. We're back with more dual Destinies, to absolutely no one's surprise. I do like that the autosave technically is like on the day before, and our own save is already on the second day, but not that it really matters. We are going to finish this episode today, I think. However, that doesn't mean that this case or this game is truly fully over. I don't think we're gonna we're gonna be done quite that soon. Well, let's get into it though. Before any more bombs explode in these courtrooms. They're gonna run out of courtrooms at some point if there's any more bombs exploding. Courtroom number 5. Day 2! Court is now in session. All rise. Huh. I suppose we should reconvene the trial of Solomon Starbuck or something. Your Honor, could you please come out from under your bench? There are no more bombs, I promise. See, with how everything that's been going on so far, I wouldn't quite agree, Phoenix. You never know. There might be yet more bombs. Oh, yes, my apologies. I'm still a little jumpy when it comes to trials involving bombs. I mean, first the courtroom exploded. And then Mr. Tonate self-destructed. I guess that's one way of describing what happened to Tonate. Anyway, it seems that Mr. Justice was seriously wounded by Mr. Tonate's actions. So you, Mr. Wright, will be taking up the defense. Do you have an understanding of what has happened in the trial so far? Yes, I think so. Yes, Your Honor. The defense is ready. Very well. Is the prosecution also ready? I'm surprised he's been this quiet, actually. I take it you'd like me to give the opening statement this time. Looks like a judge has become a pretty good mind reader. Well, he certainly seems more than his he's certainly seen more than his fair share of colorful prosecutors. You could say he's something of a veteran of sorts. Yeah, true. Let's see. In the previous part of this trial, we learned that the victim, Clay Terran, escaped from Launchpad 1 carrying the defendant Solomon Starbuck. There were explosions on the second floor of the Space Center and on the rocket itself. 2 astronauts used the Launchpad 1 corridor to reach the boarding lounge. And? How could the victim climb down the ladder if he was carrying the defendant? That was the mystery that needed to be solved. But Mr. Justice proved that the victim was killed in a boarding lounge. Prosecutor Blackwell, were you able to discover any new facts related to this point? Upon further investigation, we discovered an oxygen tank fragment in the lounge. Yes, me too. Surprisingly, it would appear that Justice Donor's argument was correct. So it means the testimony of the first 2 people on the scene are suspect. Yes. But one of them is already dead. Unfortunately. Kanazam and Yuri Cosmos. Yes. Granted, we did take a break, so the flashback is nice, but I've become so annoyed at flashbacks when it's like, oh, the scene happened 5 minutes ago? Here's a flashback to it again. I'm like, get the fuck out of my sight. Just as our team was about to cross-examine Detective Arm, the courtroom bombing incident occurred, and the trial was put on hold. Yeah, and the entire game happened in between For some reason. To make it even more confusing. The cursed fellow. He killed my witness, he killed Detective Arm. He definitely put the kibosh on anyone asking him about what she saw. Whatever that means. Exactly. In other words, the question of who killed the victim in the boarding lounge has, once again, become the main focus of this trial. It's obvious Prosecutor Blackwell still thinks it was Mr. Starbuck. Fulbright said that Blackwell has a thing against the astronaut. Nevertheless, Stevens argues there was a third person in the lounge and that's who killed the victim. To make such reckless claims in a courtroom takes a bold man or a stupid one. There was no third person in a boarding lounge. Or have you gone dotty already? Old man. Old man?! There's not even a full 10 years between the two of you. How are oh, okay. It just gets worse. The older I get replaying these games, the more I realize that literally everyone involved, aside from like, I don't know, someone like Mrs. Oldback or whatever, is just so young. Like, Blackwell and I are almost the same age. What do you mean? Old man! Hi, good evening! How are you? Objection! I'll see you as a total after I chance you with my years of experience, little boy! In any case, Mr. Starbuck claims he saw someone leaving the lounge. Furthermore, a Space Center employee also saw a suspicious figure at the scene. They saw a third person. Well, see, that's the thing. They couldn't figure out what they saw. I see my sister's been running her mouth. That's right, I almost forgot that Aura is Prosecutor Blackwell's sister. No matter, she didn't see this mystery person's face clearly. Therefore, there's no evidence to indicate that this person was not the defendant. That's true. I guess the possibility that the figure was Mr. Starbuck is still there. In brief, we need to determine if the third person was there or not. To this end, we should hear the testimony of one of the first people on the scene. Victor Cosmos, huh? Very well. Bailiff, please bring... Bailiff. We're back to the bailiff. Bailiff, please bring the witness to the stand. Why are you here with your scooter? Can you not stand on your own two legs? I believe I've seen you before in the newspapers. Of course you have, for I'm Yuri Cosmos, director of the Cosmos Space Center, which was of course named after me, Yuri Cosmos. Don't you have anything you wish to ask me? Looks like he's all geared up to do some bragging. 7 years ago, we successfully launched the Hat 1 and... Everyone already knows how brilliant you are. Even I'm trying to hold back my tears at seeing such a great man standing before me. So could you please proceed directly to your important testimony? I see this fine young lad has a proper appreciation of greatness. Then allow me to begin my epochal testimony that will be recorded in the annals of history. Speech of Prosecutor Blackwell just now. It sounded more to me like he was poking fun at Director Cosmos. It's probably for the best that it sailed right over the director's head. Now then, Director Cosmos, the condensed version of your illustrious testimony, please. Let's get it. What I saw at the scene. Detective Arm and I rushed towards the boarding lounge together. We went via the control room and peeked in from there to see what was going on inside. We saw a figure standing in the middle of the lounge and around lying on the floor. I hate to say it, but I can only imagine the standing figure must have been Starbuck. How could you tell it was Tehran lying on the ground? I see. So in your testimony you claim you arrived on the scene after the two had escaped from the lounge back to the lounge. And just after the victim had been killed. I see. So he didn't have his... weird... I don't know. Okay. The horror, the humanity. But what I said is what I saw, and what I saw is what I said. Courageous action to take in the face of such terrifying explosions, wouldn't you say? To save my men, I went personally into the epicenter of danger. Risking my own life for this. Oh, what do you know? It sounds like the director really cares about his men. Yeah. Although it sounds more like he was scared and just had a peek from far away. Is the defense ready to cross-examine the witness? Always! Yes, Your Honor. Director Cosmos' testimony is pretty vague. I'm going to have to press him and draw out more information before I do anything else. Okay. That should be easy enough. Aura Blackwell also saw a suspicious figure in the lounge, but she gave the statement that it was too dark to see the person's face clearly. Did you see this figure's face clearly? No, not clearly. The light that they were holding illuminated the area around the feet at the time, but other than that I could see little else. That's why I could see to Ram, but I couldn't see who the other person was. So for all you know, it might not have been Mr. Starbuck, isn't that correct? I would like to believe that. Starbuck isn't a type of man who's capable of murder. Objection. When the witness entered the boarding lounge, there was no third person there. Isn't that correct? Great, Space Center Director. Yes, that's right. Only Starbuck and Tehran were there by the time. After we picked in, the lounge suddenly went dark, and the figure vanished. You mean it disappeared? That's odd. Objection. The reason the figure appeared to vanish is because it was a defendant. When the witnesses weren't looking, he fell to the floor and feigned unconsciousness. Hold on. Director Cosmos, did you ever take your eyes off of the scene? Just for a brief instant. About as long as it takes for a shooting star to go by. Shooting stars? If you took your eyes off the scene, then this third person could have escaped during that time. But what escape route could this person have used? The direction opposite the control room, the southern door to the elevators. There's no security lock on that door, so it would have been possible to escape that way. Objection. All things are possible, right, Dono? The real question is, do you have any proof? Well. If we're just talking possibilities, we could each profess whatever we like. An inmate who used to be a university professor and lunar researcher used to say that there's a kingdom of little green men who live under the surface of the moon. As long as they don't punish us in the name of said moon for what we've done to it. In the name of the moon. I punish you? Is this a Salem reference? But I say, where's your proof that this quaint kingdom exists? He's calling your theory a work of fiction, boss. Thank you, Athena. And he's right, I don't have any proof yet, still. The southern door was a possible escape route. I better make a mental note of that. Okay. Director Cosmos, may I ask you a question? Yes. Why did you look away from the boarding lounge? There's actually another tale of bravery behind the answer to that. It was when Detective Arm saw the figure and raised her gun. Being a great humanitarian and protector of mankind, I tried to stop her. What? You're saying Detective Arm raised her gun as soon as she saw the figure? I imagine her instincts as a detective told her they were the killer. I don't know about that. And were you able to prevent Detective Arm from firing her gun? I'm afraid I was too late. I wasn't able to stop her. She identified herself clearly, and then she fired 2 warning shots at the shadowy figure. 2? This information about Detective Arm's actions sounds critically important. Please add it to your testimony. Aha. Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots at the figure. Are you sure? Because I only have 1 bullet hole. Objection! Are you sure you were really paying attention to what Detective Arm was doing? You doubt my words? Words that will someday be written down in history books? Yes. Somehow, I don't think that those exact words will ever be written down in any history books. Mr. Wright, could you please explain yourself so that we can all understand? You said that Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots, and yet only 1 bullet hole was ever found at the scene. What? Yes. Hi, Akira, good evening. Only one bullet hole means the gun was only fired once. And yet, Director Cosmos is saying Detective Arm fired 2 shots. No one asked to know. No editor would allow such a glaring contradiction into a history book.
Objection.
How are you today? Thank you for the bet. Unfortunately for you, the witness's words are true. He confirmed that 2 shots were fired from Detective Arm's gun.
Objection.
But there was only 1 bullet hole at the scene. That is very true. One second. Go. Oh, excuse me. I am slightly tired, actually. I've been doing nothing aside from playing 100 line pretty much the entire day today. So at least I'm hoping that what is going on here is less fantastical than what is going on in that game. Where did the other bullet hole vanish to? Oh my goodness. Hello. She might have hit him. You should know the answer to that already. I should. During the previous trial, a certain oxygen tank was presented as evidence. Before we discussed that it was ruptured in the lounge, have we not? Ah. Well, it appears that the thing that ruptured it was a bullet. A bullet that was found near the tank, to be precise. This bullet was fired from a 38 caliber gun, the same caliber as a detective's gun. What? Victim's oxygen tank was struck by a bullet. The rifling marks also match up. There's no question that the bullet was fired from Detective Arm's gun. Bullet found near the victim's oxygen tank, it was fired from... okay. Rifling marks. They're like a gun's fingerprints on a bullet, correct? And examining the rifling marks on a bullet can tell us what the gun it was fired from. One of the bullets the detective fired found its way into the holographic image display. The other bullet came to a stop near the victim's oxygen tank. What about the one we found, though? The really small one. The evidence confirms the director's statement that the detective fired 2 shots. A beautiful contradiction. Gone. All gone. So the bullet hole was from a... blah, 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 blah. I hate it. I don't know how you actually say that. The whole caliber thing. I better update the record. Okay. The only bullet hole found in the boarding lounge was made by a bullet fired from a 38 caliber gun. Very good. Now we know the fate of both of the shots Detective Ohm fired. Mr. Wright, does that clear up all of your questions? No! Detective Ohm fired 2 warning shots. One hit the holographic display and the other hit the oxygen tank. Does that really clear up everything about what happened at the scene? No! No, Your Honor, it doesn't. Detective Ohm fired 2 warning shots from a 38 caliber gun. But that doesn't explain the existence of a certain piece of evidence found at the scene. A piece that points to the existence of a third person. Oh. Oh. Very well, but it won't do to keep us waiting, Mr. Wright. What piece of evidence suggests the possibility of a third person at the scene? This small one.
Take that.
And what is this metal pellet supposed to be? Just a little something of great importance we found at the crime scene, Your Honor. You found it where? In a floor gut at the crime scene. It looks like the police and prosecution both missed it. Furthermore, this is a 10 caliber bullet. It became much smaller than one of Detective Arm's 38. Then that means... Exactly. One more person must have been there in the lounge. Third person with a gun that could fire 10 caliber bullets. Oh, he's surprisingly small without his little thing. If that's true, it explains why Detective Arm fired warning shots. This third person fired at Detective Arm and Director Cosmos with their gun. And in return, the detective fired her warning shots. Isn't that how it really went down, Director Cosmos? Looks like you've deduced my miraculous tale of survival. Yes, you're absolutely correct. The mystery person fired upon us. What's this now? Why wouldn't you say that initially? What? You never breathed a word of any of this to me before. Well, all great men have a secret or two, don't you know? No. Cool short, Jesus. So Director Cosmos really has been hiding the presence of a third person all along. It's not good. Director Cosmos, I want you to testify to the court about what you really saw. You may be a very great man, but in my courtroom you're just another witness. You won't receive special treatment here. Now please, give accurate testimony. I like it when our judges actually, like, serious. Detective Arm and I rushed to the control room together. In the lounge, we saw a figure standing in the middle of the room and Tara on the floor. We were still in the control room to the east when the figure fired at us. Huh? Why is the bullet over... Given that there was no third person in the lounge when the witness entered it, does this mean the person who fired the gun had to have been the defendant? Not necessarily. It's still possible that it was someone else. Most likely, as soon as Detective Arm and Director Cosmos discovered this person, they escaped through the southern door, the one that didn't have a security lock. As we've been saying. Why would the double-edged sword's a tricky lot? Miss One, and it is you who's cut down. Huh? Your reasoning could apply if Spaceboy were the killer as well. Think about it. After being discovered, he could have fired a 10-caliber gun. Detective Arm would have responded by firing 2 warning shots. All he had to do was feign unconsciousness to invent the possibility of a third person. But Mr. Starbuck didn't have a gun in his possession when he was found by police. Nor has a gun been found at the crime scene. His absence can only be explained if there was a third party who took it with them. Objection. Recall the existence of a trash chute in a boarding lounge. The defendant could have simply thrown a gun down the chute. Objection. But you can't deny the possibility of a third person leaving with a weapon. Objection. Oh my god. It's up to you to prove that possibility. And I trust you haven't forgotten my little piece of decisive evidence? What evidence? Why, the detonator switch that was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket, naturally. The most compelling evidence of all that tells us he is the culprit. Yeah, though someone could have smuggled it. I did forget all about that. Look, your boldness, how deliciously obvious it is that they lack the evidence of a rival mine. You sliced out a third-person theory to ribbons and served it to us just like that. Yes, well, I have a question of my own, actually. The bullet that the mysterious figure shot, what did it hit exactly? It hit me. So does that mean you're a ghost? I was wondering when you would realize it, your boldness. Director Cosmos is an authentic, bona fide... No, he's not! He can even pass through walls. Blackwell. Prosecutor Blackwell, shame on you for teasing the nice old gentleman. Your boldness, it was all in jest. Please show yourself again. Are you sure? In that case, how did you manage to survive being shot, Director Cosmos? I'm glad you asked. It was a miracle befitting a great history-making figure such as myself. The bullet hit my glorious Medal of Honor, whereby it ricocheted, thus saving my life. Oh, fascinating. But you lost a star off your fancy medal. It's unbelievable. I have to check this out. Oh wow, look at that. There's one extra Yakuza star. Oh no, never mind. I guess there's 3 on it originally, and the bullet is what made the 4th one. And the odds are literally astronomical. I guess it really was a miracle. It's beginning to really feel like the Cosmos is watching out for Director Cosmos. But why did you conceal this information, Director Cosmos? Great man such as myself has to hide things on occasion, no matter how much it hurts. You are in a courtroom of law where you technically speak an oath to say the truth and only the truth. It's a plight of the truly great. It may be hard for this generation to understand. I don't know, but it sounds fishy to me. What else is he hiding? Let's just cross-examine him and see what we can find out. Good idea. Now then, Mr. Wright, you cross-examination, please. Okay. It's interesting because all of his stuff so far is relatively short. It doesn't make sense that you would be in the east, considering where we found this thing.
Objection!
Director Cosmos, I believe you're telling this court a glorious lie. A great man like me tell a lie. Have you ever heard of such a thing in all of history? Yes. You're not the first person in court. My accusation is based on the positions of the people who were in the lounge. According to your testimony, you and Detective Arm were near the control room door, and the mystery figure was standing in the middle of the boarding lounge. If, as you say, the figure fired a gun at you from this position, then the bullet would have traveled in this direction. However, we found a caliber bullet here. I'm just going to not say the numbers at all anymore. I'm just going to say the caliber and be done with it. Oh, yes! This trajectory and where the bullet was actually found contradict each other. Director Cosmos, where were you really when you were being shot at? Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the human merry-go-round.
Objection!
Don't tell me you've forgotten already. Didn't the witness himself just tell you? The bullet hit his metal. Of this, there's no mistake.
Objection!
But in that case, the bullet should have been found near the east side of the room. Are you trying to say that you can explain this inconsistency? Of course. Oh, I didn't think so, huh? Oh, great, Director Cosmos. Yes. Is there something you'd like me to expound upon? You were, in fact, not in the control room to the east, were you? You were looking into the lounge from the door to the south. Is that not right? What are you getting at? Use your own brain. Your head must have some use other than housing a bird's nest. Hey! Bird's nest. Why does everyone pick on my hair? Director Cosmos and a detective witnessed the scene from the southern door. The killer fired at them there, and that is why the bullet was found in the south. That makes some sense, actually. Also, the witness being at the southern door is rather favorable for the prosecution. Huh? I've got a bad feeling about this. How about it, Director? If you don't tell the truth this time. Oh, and he's free. His handcuffs! You will become but rust upon my sword. I relish a chance to cut down a great man. I was wondering how long he would actually keep the handcuffs. Tell the truth, just put your sword away. You are correct. I, the great Yuri Cosmos, was looking into the room from the southern door. That's the second time you're changing up your story. That's the complete opposite of all the testimonies given so far. And now you've lost your possibility that a third person was in the room. And why do your witnesses just get to change up the story all willy-nilly and no one is ever like, hey, by the way, maybe keep your story straight because at some point it doesn't sound... Sorry, there's something on the microphone. It doesn't sound believable anymore. I have. How? The director and the detective were near the southern door. meaning the killer couldn't have escaped through there. The western door required print recognition. The corridor beyond was filled with smoke. The only escape route left was the eastern control room door. And the only way to get through there was with Director Cosmos' fingerprints. In short, there would be no escape for any third person had there been one. My third person just disappeared, like in one of Jersey's magic tricks. It's okay, we can get them back. Director Cosmos, why did you tell such an outrageous lie? You were covering for the defendant. Ah, isn't that right? Yes, it was all for the love of my man. If I said I was in the eastern control room, it would mean the culprit could have escaped through the southern door. It would have meant that there could have been a third person. All I wanted to do was protect Stark. I said I was in a control room to invent an escape route for a third person. What a convoluted lie. Is he really covering for the defendant? It looks like we've come to a conclusion. That the defense's argument, the possibility of a third person, has crumbled. No, it's over. This judge is about to hand down his verdict. Think, Phoenix, think. This is the perfect time to try and turn my thinking around. If a third person had no way of escaping the scene, then what if one of the people at the scene was this third person? Wait, what if the whole premise is all wrong? Director Cosmos said that he and Detective Arm rushed to the scene together. But what if that premise isn't true? What if one of them reached the scene before the other one? And if that person entered the lounge, then they would be the third person. The defendant is the only one who could have killed the victim and shot at the director. There doesn't appear to be any room for argument against these claims. I will now render my verdict. No, you will not. No, you will not! Please wait, Your Honor. There's still one possibility. Oh, this had better be good, Mr. Ray. There's one and only one person who could have escaped from the scene. And that person would be the first person who arrived on the scene. Then, upon entering the boarding lounge. The second person to arrive came via the southern door. That's why the first person fled from the room, using an escape route that was accessible only to them. Very well, let's hear more about this theory. Who is this one person who could have escaped from the boarding lounge? Well, I'll witness right now, obviously. What? But that's... Mr. Wright, what are you claiming here? Of all the people who were at the scene, only the witness could have escaped. The director's the only one with the authority to open the control room door, after all. But that means... Exactly. The true identity of the third person is our current witness. Director Yuri Cosmos. What? What? Athena! Why are you so surprised? Mr. Wright, you will explain yourself in more detail. I assert that Director Cosmos arrived at the scene before Detective Arm, and entered the boarding lounge alone. Detective Arm arrived after that, and... So a suspicious figure who was actually Director Cosmos standing in the lounge. And that's why she fired those 2 warning shots. Been hitting the starboard side. Captain Wright, it's a direct hit on the enemy ship, sir. A magnificent shot. Warning shots fired from the enemy ship. Prepare to intercept. Cosmos, you have told a lie in this code once again. Been hitting the port side, the enemy is called in reinforcements. To Cosmos Control Center, requesting permission to ask you to return to reality. But my ship will not go down to anything less than the ultimate weapon of evidence. But I do have evidence. In fact, you could say that your battleship bears its scar. If Director Cosmos is a third person or a black hole saw. Yes. Yes. We literally just saw this, thank you. Director Cosmos must have been the one who fired the 10 caliber gun. When Detective Arm discovered him in the lounge, it only makes sense that he would have turned and shot at her. Therefore, the evidence on the director's body is of a different kind of relevance than before. Once you compare it against another piece of evidence, the mark that you receive from the third party will be all the proof we need. To prove that you were the one there in the lounge. Face for further impact. Comparison against this piece of evidence will prove that you were the one in the lounge. Take that. The 38 caliber bullet found on the floor at the scene didn't hit the oxygen tank. It hit Director Cosmos' metal. If we have that ricochet mark on the metal analyzed, I'm sure the caliber will match up. And if that mark proves to be from a 38 caliber bullet, it will prove that you are the third person we've been looking for. The bridge is destroyed, losing altitude. All hands abandon ship. Actually, you look like you're going to go into the air if you spin any faster. If that's true, then what about the bullet that hit the oxygen tank? It was the 10 caliber bullet. In other words, it was the bullet fired by Yuri Cosmos. Isn't that right, Director? No! You got it all wrong! What? The engines have started again? It's a miracle! I'm not going down yet. Witness, stop this at once and confess the truth. If you don't want the history books to say that a great man was a great liar, then accept your fate and tell the truth. Yeah, because the mystery... The history books have never told any lies, right? They're giving me orders. Me, the great director of the Cosmos Space Center. Yes. But the cosmos revolves around me. Meow. Someone get me off this thing. Someone please stop the witness from spinning. Oy. Thank goodness we were able to stop him from spinning off the face of the earth. While he was trolling, I took the liberty of running an analysis on the mark on the metal. It was made by a 38 caliber bullet, matching it with the size of Detective Arm's firearm. Are you ready to confess the truth, witness? No! You got it all wrong. This is just a misunderstanding. He's going to start piling on more lies. Looks like it. But no matter how many lies he tells, I'll just expose them one by one. I'll make that big liar tell the truth. Well then. Director Cosmos, a new possibility has been presented by the defense. They're claiming that you were this third person. Forgive me, I'm so sorry. The great pioneer of space development is revealed to be just another fabulous colonel. I only have one question for the likes of you. Shall I send you off quickly or very quickly? And stop spinning! The evidence doesn't lie, Director Cosmos, so don't try to talk your way out of this. Fine, I'll tell the truth. It's all just as you say, Mr. Wright. It's true that I was there in the boarding lounge. I got there before Detective Arm, and when she arrived, she fired warning shots at me. I was afraid people would mistake me for the killer, so I escaped to the control room. I then went past the elevators and all the way around to boarding lounge 1 again. I came up behind Detective Arm and pretended to be the second on the scene. What a troublesome old man you are. With such convoluted deeds and thoughts. I see. So then, are you still insisting that you did not kill the victim? Of course I am. When I arrived at the lounge alone, I saw the true killer. The great Yuri Cosmos was a history-making witness. Now hold on just one moment. We just proved a few minutes ago that the third person Mr. Starbuck and Miss Aura Blackwell saw was you. No, it wasn't me. I saw the person as well. If I were the killer, why would I lie to cover for Starbuck? I would just leave him to take the fall. That is an excellent point. Well, it makes some sense if you told those lies to cover for Mr. Starbuck. Still, a lie's a lie, Athena. So Director Cosmos claims he's not the culprit, but where's the proof? I just remembered. I have an alibi. Miss Blackwell said that she saw the killer at 10 AM, correct? Yes. And? Well, I was on the 4th floor helping with the evacuation effort. Ask any member of the staff you'd like. They'll corroborate me. Corroborate? Director's not fibbing to the court for once. I confirm that he has an alibi for the time specified. So, you're claiming that Miss Blackwell saw the killer commit the crime first at 10 AM? And that you arrived at the lounge after that? Yes, and I believe the person I saw is the same that Miss Blackwell saw. Although it was pitch black, so it was more of a shadowy figure and less of a person. And I couldn't actually see their face, but it was definitely the silhouette of an earthling. Wow! As long as he has an alibi. You can't very well claim Director Cosmos was the killer. No, we can't. Then again, maybe we don't need to yet. I wonder if he was really covering for Mr. Starbuck. Your Honor, the defense moves to have the director testify about the person he saw. Very well. Director Cosmos, your testimony, please. But I really witnessed. For real this time. Maybe. As I tried to enter the lounge, the true killer inside fired a gun at me. I hid to avoid getting shot. But when I tried to get another look, they had vanished into thin air. I was near the elevator side door and, well, the launch pad 1 door. And the control room door should have been shut tight to the killer. So where did the killer go? So we were shot at by the killer as well. And then they disappeared. Yes, though luckily no harm came to my glorious body. Unfortunately, the bullet hit Tehran's oxygen tank. I know, because I heard a pang. It must have been the sound of the tank being ruptured. Wait, but I thought the bullet hit his metal. That was Detective Arm's bullet, remember? Right. What a mess this is turning into. So let's see. Director Cosmos is claiming that when he found Mr. Tehran and his killer, the culprit shot a 10 caliber bullet at him. Right, but it actually hit Mr. Tehran's oxygen tank and ruptured it. And then the killer disappeared and the director went into the boarding lounge. When Detective Arm caught up and fired those warning shots at him. Judging by his medal, it looks like one of them almost took him out, too. Good summary, but that doesn't explain where our mystery killer went. Director Cosmos, I was wondering if you could elaborate on when the figure disappeared. I'm ashamed to admit I tried to hide myself when I was shot at, but when I peeped back into the lounge, the real killer was gone. I rushed into the lounge straight away to investigate. But what I found was Tehran with a knife in his chest and Starbuck out cold on the floor. Would a person fit into the trash chute? I have no idea how big that is supposed to be. So we have a culprit who vanished from a scene that had no escape route. Vanished without a trace. Truly like one of the great mysteries of the cosmos.
Silence.
A riddle of the ages indeed. But I'd rather know. How a fibbing leech such as you can be lauded as great. Great man is always misunderstood in his own time. But he must remain true to himself even if those around him don't understand. Oh, that might be the first true statement he said all day. How do you suppose this person managed to vanish so suddenly? Simple, because it was Space Boy himself. When he was spotted by the director and Aura, he quickly feigned unconsciousness. You keep saying this. That would certainly take all the mystery out of the idea of a vanishing culprit. I want to raise an objection, but I don't have any counter evidence. Director Cosmos, when you saw this person, did you also see Mr. Starbuck on the floor? No, because it was as dark as a black hole in there. I didn't see Starbuck until the other person vanished and I entered the room. That wasn't exactly helpful. I'm prepared to accept your surrender, right, Dono? I'm not ready. I can't find any holes in his testimony, but I can't give up. Mr. Wright, why don't you let me help? Huh? While the director's giving his testimony, I detected a cacophony of discord. Which means he's hiding his true feelings from us, huh? This just might help us find out what happened to our vanished killer. That'd be great, Athena. Let's see what you can do with him. You got it, boss. I wouldn't want to miss this chance to delve into a great mind. Yuri Cosmos, prepare to hand over the secrets of your heart to me. Okay. Let's get it, Athena. As I tried to enter the lounge, the true killer inside figured a gun at me. I hid to avoid getting shot. When I tried to get another look, they had vanished into thin air. I was near the elevator side door, or the launch pad 1 door. And the control room door should have been shut tight to the killer. Okay. Well, I want to pinpoint this one. You must have thought it was very strange that the killer vanished into thin air. I did. That kind of thing just doesn't happen usually. And yet, at the time, you barely registered any shock at the occurrence. What? Why? I can only think of one reason as to why you weren't surprised by the killer's vanishing act. You must have had a good idea of where they went. Isn't that right? What? No, of course not. That's preposterous. Only I could enter the control room. And the area beyond the launch pad door was filled with smoke, making it impassable. As for the southern door, I was standing right there. So there was nowhere for the killer to run to. Maybe, or maybe not. You went into the room to check on Mr. Starbuck and Mr. Tara, yes? What if the culprit took that opportunity to silently slip out through the southern door? I highly doubt it. As you recall, right after I entered the lounge. That's when Detective Arm showed up, yeah. Detective Arm came rushing towards it herself via the silent hallway. Anyone trying to escape through there would have been caught by her. And yet the director wasn't surprised the killer vanished. So you're absolutely sure there was no escape route for the culprit to use? It's working, boss. One more punch and it'll be a knockout. Seems to be one more emotion that's at odds with his testimony. Go get him. Okay, back in the Matrix it is. Time to pinpoint our way to victory. Yay! Return to the lounge, find me. We're getting shot, so I have it with her. Why were you sad? Correct me if I'm wrong, but you seem to be afraid of the launch pad door. The great Yuri Cosmos, afraid? What basis do you have for that outlandish accusation? In the end, it's gonna be like every single person who works there who's still alive is somewhat afraid of space. Whether of any basis or not, you seem quite distressed by it. I'm most certainly not. Director Cosmos. There's something about the launch pad door you're not telling us, isn't there? Oh, he's speechless. Looks like you hit the nail on the head, boss. I'll just input those 2 pieces of data and... Yes, just what I wanted to see. 70! Nice. Less discord. Looks like we're on the right track. Thanks, Athena. To make sense of what we've learned. Director Cosmos wasn't surprised that the culprit suddenly vanished from the lounge, which points to the possibility that he knew where the killer had escaped to. Furthermore, talking about the door to the launch pad made him uneasy. In other words, he's probably hiding something about the launch pad 1 door. When we put these 2 pieces together, only one solution to this puzzle comes to mind. Director Cosmos, did the real killer escape through here? The launch pad 1 door. Take that! The culprit went through the launch pad 1 door to escape, didn't they? Yes. I mean, no! Disaster to starboard! We're going to crash into an asteroid! A master tradition you are not. But the area beyond the door was filled with smoke, wasn't it? True, but this is still the only logical answer there is. If you can just figure out what the director's hiding about the Launchpad 1 door, we should be able to iron out the logical inconsistencies. But the door requires fingerprint recognition. Only Starbuck, Tavern, and I have access. I don't see how the killer could have opened that security lock, do you? That's an easy one. The killer was right there in the boarding lounge, meaning there's a way he could have easily gotten past that security lock. I think of it, we did examine the prints on the fingerprint recognition device. I propose that the killer used this person's fingerprints to get past the security lock. Yeah. That's... Mr. Starbuck was lying unconscious there in the boarding lounge. Anybody could have easily gotten past the security lock by using Mr. Starbuck's prints, Jesus. Actually, Mr. Starbuck's prints are exactly what we found on the device's screen. Looks like he does have something to hide about the Launchpad 1 door. And I'm betting it's got something to do with the culprit's escape route. But I don't have enough information to see the whole picture yet. We'll get there, Phoenix. You know, something just occurred to me. Would you like to hear it? Huh? Yes, by all means. This is security camera in boarding lounge 1. Right, the one that recorded the victim and the defendant. What about it, Your Honor? If the true culprit escaped into the Launchpad 1 corridor, then that might be recorded on the security footage as well. Yeah! Unfortunately, no. Then the mystery would be solved. What do you think of my logic? Poor guy. I hope you didn't strain your faculties too much for that, your boldness. I beg your pardon. Oh, look, if you play the security footage beyond this point... Oh my, the footage cuts off. The camera was running on backup power, but apparently the power cables were damaged. Most likely by the after effects of the explosion. Lucky for our killer. There's no footage after this, be it of criminals or space aliens. And I thought it was such a good idea too. Just because your grandchild is watching from the gallery. Doesn't mean you should try to show off too much. Grandpa boldness. Oh, come on! Prosecutor Blackwell, how did you know about my grandchild? I think his grandchild just learned a little about the harshness of the adult world. Aww. Setting aside the issue of grandchildren, I'd like to have the witness continue. Director Cosmos, could you tell us more about when you entered the lounge? If I must. Alright, I had to avoid getting shot. After the killer vanished, I went into the lounge. But that's when Detective Varm appeared from the elevator side door. And then the detective shot at me. So you see, the killer could only have escaped to the launch pad, right? I see. You're surprised you're getting shot at, aren't you? Good evening, how are you? Director Cosmos, why were you so surprised when Detective Farm found you and again when she fired? Isn't that a bit unnatural? Sadly, even great men such as myself have ordinary human feelings. I'm good. I'm a little tired. Other than that, I'm okay. I'm hoping to get somewhere with this game. Oh, excuse me. I want to play something new. Our bodies are bound by the forces of gravity and emotions. Even a great man such as myself experiences surprise on occasion. Yes, I'm sure you do. My real point is not the fact that you were surprised, but rather what you were surprised by. Pardon me? First you were surprised when Detective Arm found you in the lounge. And just after that you were of course again surprised when she shot at you. But considering what you were surprised about, a strange phenomenon occurs here. Director Cosmos, what is strange about your surprise reaction is the fact that you were more surprised when Arm came. I think you would normally be more surprised, like... He must have known. He's the director. He must have known she was there as a bomb specialist, since they had bomb specialists ordered due to the whole situation in the first place. So why is he more surprised by the fact that she came up behind him than the fact that she shooting at it? Sure, you were surprised when Detective Arm shot at you, but the surprise you felt when she found you in the lounge was much greater. Hehe. The fact that you were more surprised by simply being found than by being shot at suggests to me that you were conflicted about whatever it is you were doing there. The enemy's acquired a new weapon. Commence operation hide under your desk. That's not hiding under your desk, that's just spinning in circles again. Please tell me I finally sunk a spell ship. Nope. A little more. Boss, I'm getting less Discord now. That must mean he really is hiding something about that launchpad door. Whatever he's hiding most likely has something to do with the killer's escape. I wonder what it could be. If he was doing something suspicious around that door, maybe you can spot some change between before he came to the room and after. Oh yeah, okay. Like the Fulbright gave us a photo taken after the crime. Let's run a comparison. Let's see. This is footage of the door before Director Cosmos arrived. And this is really bright. Oh my god. This is how the door looked after the director entered the lounge. Look at that. I can already see one thing. There is a change. Something's definitely different. Director Cosmos. What is it? What have you two been up to over there? Plotting your doom. Find the answer to what you were doing when Detective Arm found you, that's what. And that answer lies clearly in this footage. All we have to do is compare it to the photo that was taken during the investigation. Don't be ridiculous. If you really do have an answer, you'd have pointed it out already. Sure. He's asking for it. This is what changed directly after the incident. The funny nub over here. Take that! The answer is no. Yes. Your Honor, please take a look at this footage. Let's see. Take a look at the knob next to the launchpad door. As you can see, it's horizontal. Yes, it is, isn't it? However, when we investigated the scene of the crime yesterday, the knob was vertical. And what does that mean? It means that sometime between before the director arrived and after, someone turned this knob. After the scene was discovered, you were the only one who could have turned the knob. Come on now, Director Cosmos. Let's hear what you have to say. What were you trying to do by turning that knob by the door? What's that knob even do? I admit it. If I did turn that knob. Knob is a safety lock meant to keep the launch pad in place. I was afraid there would be more explosions, so I wanted to move the launch pad away. You wanted to do what? Hey, didn't Ponko tell us something about how they prepare for launch? She said that once the launch pad's fully assembled, it's moved to the launch site. But the safety lock in the boarding lounge has to be disengaged first. I guess that clears up what the knob is for. So if the killer escaped into the launch pad 1 corridor, maybe they were transported along with the launch pad to the launch site. I don't think so. The launch pad 1 corridor was filled with smoke. I don't think they could have escaped through the corridor. So then, where did the killer escape to? I guess there's still some things we have to uncover. Director Cosmos, I request that you tell us about moving the launch pad in more detail. Fine. But listen carefully, for I'm about to give history-making testimony. This is like the 4th time you said this. It's not going to be history. Making history. Blah. Sure, whatever, keep trying. Had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. I feared there might be more explosions, so I had to cut the launch pad loose. Surely the only escape the killer had was through launch pad 1. But the area was a sea of smoke. Found it. Where on earth could they have gone? Okay. Why are you happy about this? I had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. You make it sound like you were reluctant to do so. And yet, when you did it, you felt some joy as if you were very pleased with yourself. Would you look at that? We even get a quote from the very same game. Wow. How did you do it? How did you know everything as if you were there? Pretty impressive, isn't it? This is the power of analytical psychology. You had to explain why you felt joy when you disengaged the safety lock. When I think back on the facts we've discovered up to this point, I have to believe that you were trying to fulfill some hidden agenda. How'd you know about that too? Because I'm more or less a pro at guessing. We've even no proof that I had a hidden agenda. And even if I did, I would never ever tell you, so there! You are in a court of law. I know they say people regress as they grow older, but you, sir, take the cake. How could you doubt a man with such great intensity, intelligence, and integrity?
Silence.
You, a man of integrity. Don't make me laugh. Prosecutor Blackwell? What came over him all of a sudden? You spotted nothing but falsity since you stepped up to the stand. You're not the kind of man that will be glorified in the annals of history. Not for greatness, anyway. Unless you consider great a spare-faced liar an honor. Ooh! Liar? Yes. His words bite harder than his blade. You moved Launchpad 1 after the explosions. How naive you are. You fail to realize how even the facts themselves have betrayed you. You know, just a thought, but modern English can be your friend. And here's a thought for you, immediately following the bombing. Launchpad 1 was on a boarding lounge site. The police confirmed this on scene. What? He's still going on about the liar. That means the director didn't move the launchpad? Curse my judgment for calling history's greatest liar to the witness stand. Let us leave him to indulge in his lies and war games to his heart's content. No, hold on. But it doesn't make sense. You can't deny that someone turned that knob. And once the safety lock was released, I'm sure the pad must have went somewhere. If we trace down the truth of this issue, we just might find where the killer escaped to. Don't cut my head. You're sure it must have went somewhere? We just might find out. Your arguments are nothing but conjecture, bluffing, and wishful thinking. Stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is. Or are you not man enough to— Boy! I am older than you! Damn! Talk about hitting below the belt. Youngins, they says. I don't understand it. I'm sure Director Cosmos must have moved the launchpad. The knob was definitely turned after he came to the lounge. But the launchpad is right where it's supposed to be. Wait a minute. Maybe I have it all backwards. What if the director turned the knob, not to move the launch pad away, but to bring it back to where it was supposed to be? What are you blathering about? What if the launch pad was at the launch site before the incident? And then after the incident, Director Cosmos moved it back to its usual spot. All he had to do was turn the knob to call the launch pad back. And it would be right where the police found it. Don't cut his hair, Jesus Christ. You made him sound like Mr. Starbuck. Was what he said really that off base? It pains me to have to explain how wrong your own logic is to you, however. Our great lie turned the knob only after he discovered the crime scene. Indeed, the pad existed beyond the lounge when our Astro Wonders made their escape. A fact that has been recorded for posterity on filmless film. Are you sure about that, actually? Alright. So, to reiterate... Stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is, boy. Not again. Get a grip, Mr. Ray, and focus. We know the launch pad must have been moved. But our deductions and the actual facts of the case end up in direct contradiction to each other. Well, maybe the two astronauts never actually boarded the rocket. This footage could be fake, taken with body doubles of the incident or something. On second thought, that's too far-fetched even for me. Thank you, Athena. Never actually boarded the rocket. Wait a minute. Maybe, just maybe. Prosecutor Blackwell, what if I told you that the two astronauts never set foot inside the launch pad area, but instead went into another place? And what if, when the director moved launch pad 1 back, it was not from the launch site, but from another place? What would you say then? Cut the existential bull or I'll cut you. Mr. Wright, you will explain yourself at once. I know I'm right. It was all the other way around from the beginning. Very well, Your Honor, let me explain. Director Cosmos' reason for moving Launchpad 1 was to switch it with another place. Because he wanted to switch it with some other place. I'm sorry, but did you say switch it? What could he possibly have switched the Launchpad with? Oh, you'd be surprised, Your Honor. All it takes is a little thinking outside the box and the answer becomes clear as day. This is what was switched with Launchpad 1. The entirety of the Space Museum. Take that! Launchpad 1 was switched with the Space Museum. In the past, the Space Museum used to be Launchpad 2. It has all the same features as Launchpad 1 and can even be moved to the launch site. Meaning the Space Museum and Launchpad 1 can also be switched with each other. You can mean yes, I can. The rocket the astronauts boarded was not the one in Launchpad 1. It was the one in the Space Museum. And yet, it's the only explanation that accounts for every riddle and inconsistency. This is how the Space Center was just before the incident. I see Launchpad 1 and the Space Museum have already switched places. That's right. And with the two switched like this, the astronauts entered the Space Museum from boarding Launch 1. This allowed the true killer to enter Launchpad 1 from boarding Launch 2 and set the bomb on the rocket. Come to think of it, the door to the Space Museum from boarding Launch 2... Yeah, it does not have doors that close off. Exactly. Anyone could pass through the door to the Space Museum. There's no fingerprint recognition system on that door. In other words, with the two launch pads switched like that, someone other than Mr. Starbuck could have easily planted that bomb. After setting the bomb on the rocket, the culprit snuck into boarding Launch 1 and waited there, concealed, in order to kill Mr. Taran when the two astronauts emerged from the Space Museum. We called him as Blackwell, Mr. Starbuck, and the director all saw a suspicious figure, who, we can suppose after killing Mr. Taran, made their escape into the Space Museum. After that, Director Cosmos switched the two launch pads back, without realizing the killer was inside the Space Museum. The killer then left the Space Museum and made a clean getaway. Right, Donna, I see you know how to handle a sword and handle it well. Perhaps I should call you Swordmaster Bluff. I'm a seasoned warrior who has cut down many a prosecutor. Silence! But unless you can prove your theory, it's no better than a rusty sword. That's right, you have no proof I switched to launch pads. Somebody needs a better anger management counselor. If the launch pads really were switched, there might be a record of it somewhere. At this point, Launchpad 1 and the Space Museum were switched with each other. The corridor beyond the door should be the one that belongs to the Space Museum. Let's see, this is an image of the Launchpad 1 corridor. Do you see anything different when we compare to the security footage? Yes, but it's really small. A number on the floor. Well, what do you know? It looks like we have proof after all, Prosecutor Blackwell. It's a good thing it's a still image, the picture we have from the security footage. Even though it is supposed to be a video of some kind. If this is just another bluff. Oh, don't worry, it's all right here. Right in this footage. Prove that beyond this door is the corridor to the Space Museum. Very well then. Answer this for me if you would. What in this footage proves that the corridor belongs to the Space Museum? Well, let's just hope that the game is going to recognize if I press right here. Take that! There's a 1 on the floor of the Launchpad 1 corridor. Take a look at the floor of the corridor in the security footage. Do you see the number on the floor behind the astronauts? It doesn't look like a 1, does it? That's because what you see is actually part of a 2. What? Yeah. Why is it a 2 and not a 1? That's because the corridor you see is the one to the Space Museum. So that means the corridor in this footage was not filled with smoke. That's right, because the explosion didn't occur in the Space Museum. The explosion occurred in Launchpad 1 on the side opposite the Space Museum. And now that we know that the 2 astronauts escaped from the Space Museum, the mystery from the previous trial of how they got down the ladder is cleared up. Mr. Duran, carrying Mr. Starbuck, simply took the elevator from the upper level down to the middle level. Which is incredible. 2 launch pads were actually switched. But do you think someone would have noticed an event of this magnitude? Everyone was down in the basement shelter when the launch pads were swapped back. There's no way anyone could have known what was happening on the surface. Yaha! Question is just why? No more lies, Director Cosmos. It's high time you told us the truth. Oh no! My glory! Everything is slipping away. Attempt to deploy my ultimate weapon, the galactic engine! Oh, where are you going? It's gone anywhere! It won't stop! Okay. Believe on your scene after the witness. God. I see we managed to retrieve you before you came to any bodily harm. Director Cosmos, do you admit you switched the launch pads? I admit it's true. I switched Launchpad 1 for the Space Museum. It's good to hear words I can believe for a change. Before you do, Your Honor, 2 things. First, we don't know if Mr. Taran had prior knowledge of the switch. As for Mr. Starbuck, he was unaware of his surroundings thanks to his medication. Either way, Mr. Taran would have realized the instant he stepped into the Space Museum that it had been switched with Launchpad 1. So my first question is, if the Space Museum was perfectly fine, why did Mr. Taran feel the need to put in such a dramatic display? As for my second question, I'd like Director Cosmos to tell us why he switched to 2 launch pads to begin with. I can't. I exercise my right to remain silent. But I will say my hands were tied. I was only doing what I could to keep my men from getting caught in that blast. What blast? The director is terrified. He must have one heck of a reason for not wanting to explain why. Probably not a good time to try to pry it out of him, huh? Excuse me, but would you mind if I picked up my stars? Without my badge of rank, I'm nothing. I don't see why not. Bailiff, I help the director retrieve your stars. He has quite a lot of them on. It appears the possibility of a culprit other than the defendant has presented itself. Mr. Starbuck, is there anything you wish to say? I don't get it. Don't get it? What don't you get? Director, why did you do all that? From the very beginning, you never meant for the launch to go ahead, did you? You tricked us. Mr. Starbuck. Starbuck, my boy, I'm sorry. I can't tell you the reason why. But I had to do it to protect the Space Center. Director? Will I ever get the chance to go into space again? Probably not. Yes, of course. I won't rest until it happens. I will get you into space again, my boy. Oh? And the dream is still alive. Yeah, it's just one person's already dead. Yay. You're not going into space, Starbuck. But prison. I won't have it any other way. Why are you so hung up on him? Yes, I accept that the launch pads really were switched. And if there were a third person at the scene, I suppose they could have escaped. But I've yet to see proof of this third person's escape via the Space Museum. That's true? That is unfortunately true. Why did you have to say that? That's a good point. He's right. I don't have any proof. Starbuck, you will spill everything you know. What? Me? Where'd you get those bombs? Tell me now. If you don't, my blade shall feast on your blood. If I'm going to die, I want to die in space. I have to do something. Solomon Starbuck. Prepare yourself. Nope. No, you know violence wasn't the answer, Prosecutor Blackwell. It's an annoyingly cheerful laugh. Can be none other than Fulbright. Of course, who else? Champion of Righteousness, Bobby Fulbright here. Just as we trust, yeah. Dr. Fulbright. Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Lawyer. I hope I'm not too late. I don't believe we had an appointment. I tried to hurry, but I ended up helping a little old lady cross the street. And then I had to break up a cat fight. Tell her just the show is a full-time job. Was it a fight between cats, or... why are you here again? Because the defendant isn't the culprit, and I came to make sure that justice is served. I don't have any idea what you're talking about. Fulbright. I always thought you were a bit touched in the head. Have you finally succumbed? No, but it looks like you succumbed to this phantom of yours. Open your eyes and let the evidence of justice uncloud your judgment. What evidence? Come to think of it, he did say something about finding some evidence. I guess he did. To find a perfect piece of evidence for you. I didn't think he was serious, though. So what is it, Detective? Is it something that will prove Mr. Starbuck innocent? It is indeed. Have a look at this. What's this? A lighter. That's right. A lighter thought to have been used by the culprit, no less. Space Museum's cleaning robot picked it up. It has the victim Clayteron's blood, along with his killer's fingerprints on it. But that is a grand piece of evidence. Detective Fulbright, can I assume that the fingerprints don't belong to the defendant? Too bad. Mr. Starbuck is totally innocent. This is it. It's just what I needed. Later found on the floor of the Space Museum, and true culprit's fingerprints are on it in the victim's blood. So whose is it? Your Honor, this is decisive evidence that supports the defense's earlier claim. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. With pleasure, Your Honor. Recall where this lighter was found. Based on now, we can extrapolate that after the killer murdered Mr. Tarrant, they escaped with lighter in hand into the Space Museum, where they dropped it. The switching of the two launch pads occurred. Then finally, the killer left the boarding lounge 2 and made their escape. Meanwhile, Mr. Starbuck was found in boarding lounge 1 after the murder, a fact that Director Cosmos has testified to. Therefore, Mr. Starbuck couldn't have possibly been the one to drop the lighter there.
Silence.
But the defendant had free reign of the area until Director Cosmos appeared. Could he not have dropped the lighter in the Space Museum during that span of time?
Objection.
You'd like that to be true, wouldn't you? But Director Cosmos testified that right after he saw the mysterious figure with the lighter, he went into the lounge and found the unconscious Mr. Starbuck. In other words, Mr. Starbuck wouldn't have had the time to double back to the museum. No, Prosecutor Blackwell, this lighter could only have been dropped by the real killer. Most importantly, Mr. Starbuck's fingerprints were nowhere to be found on this lighter. I think you understand what this means, don't you? This piece of evidence unequivocally proves that Mr. Starbuck wasn't the culprit. This does indeed appear to be decisive evidence that proves the defense's claims. I would like to check first whose fingerprints are on it, please. Before we go saying all that. It's for the remote switch that was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket. We can assume it was planted by the killer on the unconscious Mr. Starbuck. Oh. There must be some mistake. Frankly, Prosecutor Blackwell, I've been worried about you. You've been chasing this phantom for 7 whole years. I understand your urgency because tomorrow...
Silence.
Fulbright, you promised never to speak of that. Tomorrow? What about tomorrow? Given the body of evidence, I think it's safe to say the defendant is innocent, in light of the fact that it was impossible for him to have committed the crime. A few unanswered questions remain, so I look forward to seeing what you two uncover. But for now, this court finds the defendant, Solomon Starbuck, not guilty! That took a while. We did it, Mr. Wright. Looks like we pulled it off somehow, huh? Or somehow from Detective Fulbright. Mr. Wright, Miss Sykes, thank you. And please thank Apollo for me, too. You all are the best. I wish you could tell Apollo about Mr. Starbuck's verdict right now. Yeah, me too. That's going to have to wait. Now that the verdict has been reached, I'd like to bring today's trial to a close. Court is adjourned.
Objection.
No! Too late to object, isn't it? It simply isn't possible. Something's wrong. Prosecutor Blackwell, are you dissatisfied with the verdict? Alright. What were the results of the fingerprint analysis for the lighter? Huh? The results? Well, I was in a hurry, you see, and then there was that cat fight, and, well... And I got carried away when I heard the prince warned Mr. Starbucks, so... You have yet to read it. Prosecutor Blackwell, can you read out who the prince belonged to? Upon thorough analysis, the fingerprints were found to belong to Athena Sykes. So says the report. What? Huh? Me? Yeah, what? Miss Sykes, tell me you have an explanation for this. We just finished proving that the slider could only belong to the killer. So finding your prints on it can only lead us to one grave conclusion. I don't know how they got in there, but I know I'm not the culprit. Well, this can't be happening. We built up our argument piece by piece. I don't think any of our reasoning was faulty. So how could it have led to this? Evidence found by Detective Fulbright has a Venus print on it in the victim's blood. What have I done? Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Detective Fulbright, stop your crying. What in the world is happening here? It's like the world's gone mad. Absolute pandemonium. Case close to you next game. You wish. You wish. A fusion spiraled into utter chaos. After all we'd fought for, the truth had turned cruelly on us to accuse Athena of the crimes. Somewhere, somehow, everything had gone terribly wrong. We had stumbled over the edge of reason into the jaws of a twisted darkness. End. Episode 5. Turnabout for tomorrow. No one can escape their past. The sins we've committed, and the sadness we've caused. No matter how far we run, our past remains. As ever present as the moon in the sky. This is the big one. It looms in wait. The day when we are forced to face it. Ooh. Okay, Phoenix. But only in doing so can we truly make peace and move on and hope towards tomorrow. Well, not a fun way to open this last main case. They took Athena from the courtroom straight to the station. Well, yeah. She's probably being questioned at this very moment. I mean, to be fair, How are you going to be an important part of our team, if especially if a female character, if you haven't been accused of murder at least once? Maya has shown that she is very good at this already. So of course Athena had to pick up the case. Such a zoom in on the I will just go microscopic. After this past year, I took it for granted that those two would always be here. But now, Apollo has gone off on his own to seek his own truth. And my pursuit of the truth only ended up with Athena becoming the new suspect. Some boss it turned out to be. Hi, Tracy. It's even quieter in here than usual. Yeah, it seems so empty too. I just don't get it. All of your reasoning during the trial seemed perfectly solid. Yeah, and I still believe it was. At least based on what we know. But now Athena is the one who's being accused. During the trial for the bombing and murder that occurred at the Cosmos Space Center, the letter used by the real culprit was found. This letter proved the defendant, Solomon Starbuck, innocent. Right, technically, obviously, you could have taken a break between doing one and the other, so they are giving us a flashback. Athena's prints were found on it instead. And she was subsequently arrested for the murder. But Athena couldn't have done it. It just doesn't make any sense. No, none of it does. I've been racking my brain, but I just can't figure it out. Where's the flaw in my reasoning? What have I got wrong in this case? You know, if Athena was here, she wouldn't just be sitting around thinking. She'd be out there doing something. You are going to defend Athena, right? Yes, absolutely. Of course I will. And thanks, Trucy. I needed that push. Trucy's right. The trial is tomorrow. There's no time to waste. If I'm going to prove Athena's innocence, I'd better get out there and find some evidence. Off we go then. When I hunt for evidence, I'll prove Athena's innocent. Right, but before we go, I better tidy up the evidence I have on hand. Go. Athena's probably still in the middle of being questioned. Trucy's right. The thing to start with is talking to people at the Space Center. And also talking to Trucy for a long-running achievement that goes through the entirety of the collection. I still can't believe Apollo really left us. It was so sudden. Maybe he got tired of being my assistant for my magic tricks. I don't think it's your fault, Trucy. But I made him clean the toilet alone. And I made him go bring in a newspaper. It was my fault, I just know it. Oh, Apollo. Aww. I really don't think it was your fault, Trucy. But I didn't realize Apollo was wearing so many hats around here either. There we go. There's 4 separate times that you need to trigger something about what Apollo is doing. Or something along those lines to get an achievement, apparently. A man of many hats. It's a very missable achievement. To be fair, I think if you're used to these games from the original releases, there weren't any achievements, so especially for the first collection, the Phoenix Wright ones, I'm like, at some point, if you've been a fan of the series for many years at this point, you already know where to go and what to do. And the first collection has missable achievements where first you also need to like say wrong things to get some stuff. At least in this one, we never have to. No, I don't think we don't even have a bad ending or anything. So you can relatively easily, if you know where they are, you can get all of them. Dr. Cosmos, do you have a minute? Galactic scooter, full speed ahead! Of course. He does not want to talk to us. He scooted away. His expression changed the instant he saw you. Yeah, well, I dragged his name through the mud pretty good at the trial earlier today. Well, sucks to be him. We were here only yesterday. Oh, hey! Mr. Starbuck, you've been released, huh? Yep. And I came straight here. This is all thanks to you and your team, Mr. Wright. You give me a second chance of flying to space again. Can't thank you enough. Except... don't do that. I hate when he does that. What's wrong? I thought we'd be happy to be acquitted. As I was coming out of the detention center, I saw Miss Sykes. I saw Athena. I was at a loss for words. I didn't know what to say to the poor girl. And then you know what? She flashed a peace sign at me. Congratulations on your acquittal, she said. Now you can go back into space someday. Yeah, that sounds like Athena. I could just picture it. But I saw her eyes. They were red and swollen from crying. Oh. Oh. She's gotta be suffering. She must be so worried. And yet she went out of her way to be nice and give me that big smile. She held back her own tears so she could give someone else a smile. That's so Athena. There's no question about it. That girl is innocent. Please, Mr. Wright, you have to make sure she goes free. And then they can put me in prison instead. I don't mind. No. You can't have that either, Mr. Starbuck. Don't worry, Mr. Starbuck. I'm going to give her the very best defense I can. I promise to get her acquitted, just like I did for you. I know she'll be alright with you in her corner. I know you never give up on her. Apollo's a fine boss to look up to. Oh, thank you. I still can't believe Launchpad 1 was switched to the Space Museum. What could have made Director Cosmos do such a thing? I have the foggiest idea. I think it's a mouth movement that's making me yawn whenever I have to do that. There never was gonna be a launcher day, not from the very beginning. I wonder if Clay knew. I imagine he must have. Surely he would have noticed when you went to board the rocket. It's pathetic to think I was the only one who got taken in. But I guess that's about how it goes. When you're with less than space debris. Aww. Is he going to be alright? His expression looks as dark as a black hole. Well, that's just how he is. Mr. Starbuck, do you remember anything about the murderer? Not really. I only saw a shadowy figure in the dark after all. Yeah, I guess that was a little too much to help for. Hey, I heard something from the police though. They said they never did find a 10 caliber gun down that trash chute. Just as I thought, the culprit must have carried it away with them when they escaped. So was the person you saw holding a gun, Mr. Starbuck? I couldn't really tell. But it wasn't Athena, right? Did you tell if the person was male or female, tall or short? I can't even tell you that much. And I'm useless. When the culprit opened the door and some light came in, I should have been able to see. Door. Yes. As I recall, they opened this door here as they made their escape. Door to Launchpad 1, right? Yeah, except right now, the door leads to the Space Museum. You mean the Launchpad and the Space Museum are switched right now? Yeah, they're trying to investigate the theory you came up with in court. Oh! So they're recreating the conditions, huh? I'd have to see what's beyond that door now. Oh, let's check it out then. Mr. Starbuck, could you open this door for us? Sure. Just let me have my print scanned here. Swing! Thank you. Do the launchpads get switched back and forth a lot? Well, back when the Space Museum was Launchpad 2, they used to switch the pads around at times. But these days, Launchpad 2 is only used as a tourist attraction, right? Right. Because quite frankly, the Space Center needs the money. I hear you. I'm sure tough. Let's go check out what's beyond that door. Sure, let's go. Hey, why don't you come along? I can show you around. Oh. Ah, well. Let's check out the mechanism. So this is another one of those devices for opening the door, huh? Yep, but this one doesn't require fingerprint verification. You just hit the button and open sesame. So when you and Claire went through here, you didn't need to show your prints either? That's right, Tracy. Just like how the corporate didn't need to scan their prints. When they escaped back out of the Space Museum corridor into boarding lounge 2. Ah. Biometric door lock, print authentication isn't required from the... Okay. Launchpad side. What about the leaves? Huh. I wonder what these dead leaves are doing here. Maybe they were stuck to the bottom of somebody's shoes. There are lots of trees around the Space Center. She's right. It's a modern state-of-the-art building, but it's surrounded by trees. I don't know. If they were stuck to the bottom of somebody's shoes, wouldn't they look more crushed up? These don't look like they've been stepped on. Maybe there's some kind of secret hatch in the corridor, and they came in that way? Not everything is set up like a magician's stage, you know. Well, I don't see anything else that jumps out at me. And I imagine this corridor is built exactly like the Launchpad 1 corridor. Okay. Let me go to the entrance then. There's surprisingly little investigation for this case. Most of the time you will be spending here is in a trial, if I remember correctly. Cursed wretch who's selling my good name. Reverse course and full speed away. Stop. Director Cosmos, wait. Please. I handle this. Take that. The mobility system has been compromised. Chrissy's knife throw was a direct hit to one of his ties. Ooh. And the streak continues. You should not be running around with knives like that. Maybe I should have kept a closer watch on what tricks she's been practicing. To your battleship, we fought many a skirmish together. It has been an honor. He's going to blow everything up. Nah, I bet all that button will do is make it go haywire again. Very well. I surrender. As a prisoner of war, I expect to be treated honorably. Okay. Director Cosmos, when you were talking in court about switching the launch pads, you used your right to remain silent about the reason as to why. He looks miserable without his stars. The center of the cosmos is shrouded in mystery, but I don't have any secrets left. Now that my battleship has been destroyed and I've been taken prisoner. No, you definitely have secrets left. Ooh. No secrets left, huh? I beg to differ. Looks like I have to undo his psych logs if I want to get to the bottom of this. That should be relatively easy. Alright. Behind the switching of the launch pads. I want you to tell me everything you're hiding about the switching of the two launch pads. I refuse. You couldn't make me. I can hold it longer than anyone. I hope I never get like this when I'm old. Now let's see where to start. This is how you explain your motive for switching the launch pads. You did it to save the astronauts. Thanks to you switching the launch pads, the astronauts escaped injury from the blast. Instead, they safely boarded the museum's rocket far away from the actual explosion. Astronauts were raring to go out on an authentic adventure in space. How do you propose I had to board a fake rocket without them noticing? I agree you couldn't have done it without help. For one, they would have figured it out the instant they stepped into the Space Museum. You figured you could fool Mr. Starbuck once he'd been drugged with his medication, but without the help of this person, it would have been impossible to pull your plan off. You must have got Mr. Taran to help you. He stole the tranquilizers from his mentor's locker and slipped them to him. And then, with Mr. Starbuck in a daze, they boarded the replica rocket in the museum. Someone please help this poor prisoner of war! How is he able to spin around like that? See, this is the entire reason they made it all 3D. You really wanted to save the astronauts' lives. Shouldn't you have just called off the launch? If I could have done that, don't you think I would have gone to all that trouble? Do you think I would have gone through all that trouble? I guess he must have had a compelling reason why he couldn't call it off. But how did you know to switch the paths in advance of the bombing incident? That's because I was warned in advance. Once I received that warning, it was my duty to ensure my astronaut safety. But it was just a warning. It could even have been a prank. Why did you believe in it so completely? Because I went to one of those mediums that everyone's talking about these days. Oh? I didn't realize channeling was back in vogue. Besides, I thought it was you yourself that got the warning via telephone. Yes, that's right. The bomber contacted me personally. My battleship is equipped with a special advanced communications system, you see, a mobile phone. A regular old telephone. It's been a while, planning another launch. I see you haven't learned. I'll never forget the terror I felt when I received that call. The bomber said it's been a while. And that was enough to make you take the threat seriously? Perhaps Edward Cosmos took the threat so seriously because the Space Center had been involved in a bombing once before. Maybe. Culprit in the current case is the same person who was involved in this incident. The courtroom for bombing. They had one miracle, or they had two. They had one miracle, that epic story of survival. People across the nation know it now as a heroic tale of bravery. But in truth, it was an act of sabotage perpetrated by our current killer, wasn't it? Very few knew about the previous plot, so when the caller said it's been a while, you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that the danger was real and it wasn't a prank. Didn't anyone ever tell you to go easy on an ex-serviceman? No! Yes, the Had One Miracle was really a desperate battle against an act of sabotage. I even lost the life of one of my staff members in the fight. Sabotage, murder. So this is the ugly truth behind the Had One Miracle. I let my guard down. I thought the saboteur had been caught, and that the case was closed. Huh? Wait a minute. They murdered the Space Center 7 years ago. This must be the person Director Cosmo thought was the culprit.
Take that!
Simon Blackwell, the murder suspect in a case that happened here 7 years ago. The place and time of the two incidents, the murder and the sabotage, were the same. So you thought that he committed both crimes. But while Prosecutor Blackwell was behind bars, you got another threatening call. If the culprit this time is the same as 7 years ago, then it isn't Simon Blackwell. Realizing that, you were shaken. It meant the true culprit's been running free all this time. How do you keep saying straight through me? Well, there's not that much left, my guy. It's only so many things. The reason why Director Cosmos won't talk about why he switched to launch pads is connected to the truth behind the Had One Miracle. The sabotage and murder that happened at this space center 7 years ago. Director Cosmos, tell us what you're hiding. If you really want to understand the reason I decided to switch to launch pads. We'll have to start with the story of that horrible nightmare from 7 years ago. 7 years ago? You mean the so-called Had One Miracle? The launch went smoothly, but once the ship entered outer space, then the troubles began. It was all the handiwork of a certain person and their evil scheme. Mr. Starbuck's traumatic experience wasn't accidental. Not only that, but before the launch, a very valuable piece of moon rock was stolen. But that wasn't the worst of it. One of my staff members was murdered. Wow, I had no idea such awful events were behind an exciting story of space heroism. All that, in spite of the Space Center having very strict security in those days. All personal effects were examined thoroughly, coming or going. You couldn't even smuggle a withered old leaf through those checkpoints. So do you have any clue who was responsible for the sabotage? At the very least, I know it wasn't Simon Blackwell. I don't know enough to identify the true culprit, but it's clear what that person is. To put it simply, a spy. A spy? You mean somebody who infiltrates a foreign country? Carries out dangerous missions? And always gets a girl? Someone's watching way too many late-night movies. Well, I guess if we're talking about blowing up a rocket and stealing research material, it's not all that surprising that a spy could be behind it all. Make no mistake, there's cutthroat rivalry between nations in a space R&D race. Some try to outdo others by any means possible, even deliberate obstruction. 7 years ago, we got a call before the launch warning us of sabotage. The same memo as this time. Yes. And here I thought the perpetrator had been caught, but it looks like I was wrong. Prosecutor Beckwell seems more like a ninja than a spy, don't you think? Are ninjas and spies basically the same thing? Ooh, I wouldn't say that. You're gonna make many fans mad. But there's a good reason we failed to find the real spy. A massive cover-up by the government. Government officials were too embarrassed to admit that they had allowed such a thing to happen at the hands of a spy. Don't take me to admit the police rushed the investigation. They did indeed. And then, to cover up the sabotage, they cleaned up the story. And that was the head one miracle, wasn't it? But then, 7 years later, the same MO, advance warning of sabotage. There must have been a director's reason for switching the launch pads. 7 years ago, the spy gave you advance warning of their plans just like this time. That was what made you decide to switch the launch pads, wasn't it? That's right. Colin knew the facts of the case 7 years ago despite the cover. They knew about the sabotage, the moon rock, the murder, and they said, "You don't want things to go like they did 7 years ago, do you?" I immediately thought of calling off the launch, but the government wouldn't let me. "We don't give in to the likes of terrorists. We must proceed for our country's honor." It's quite a moving speech, actually. Moving? Really? Maybe if you're easily inspired by political talking points? But I knew the truth. We had been warned, which meant that the danger was very real. And I knew there was no way to stop the spy. No matter what I did, they would find a way. And that's why I switched the launch pads and staged a moving rescue scene. First, I snuck into the center the night before and switched the launch pads. That way, the astronauts would go from boarding lounge 1 to the Space Museum. Then I put a closed for repair sign at the door to launch pad 1 in boarding lounge 2. You did that so no normal visitors wouldn't enter, right? What else did you do? I enlisted the help of several staff members, including Tehran. But you didn't let Mr. Starbuck in on it? He'd already been through enough, and he's no good at lying to keep a secret. Fair. I'm afraid I had no choice but to have him drugged. My plan went well until... Clay's murder, huh? After the culprit made their escape, I switched the launch pads back. I did it in such a way that no one would find out. But after all that effort, Tehran is dead and the Hat 2 is destroyed. And the Hope capsule, which had returned to us only recently, was also lost in that blast. My home, the scent of the cosmos. My beautiful cosmos space set is done for. What do you mean by the Hope capsule was lost in a blast? I thought that the Hope capsule was found at the crime scene with Mr. Tehran. It had just been brought back by the Hope space probe with asteroid samples inside. The capsule was being held in a safe in Launchpad 1, but I gave it to Tehran before the incident so it wouldn't be destroyed in the explosion. The idea was that, with it safely in Tehran's possession, you could make it look like he rescued it during the staged miraculous escape. But our precious research materials ended up lost to the explosion anyway. But I thought Clay was supposed to keep it safe. You misunderstand. The launchpad explosion wasn't the one the capsule was lost to. It was lost after the police confiscated it as evidence. Oh, the courtroom bombing from the other day. The capsule was there in the courtroom as evidence and was blown to smithereens. Yet another casualty of that blast. Ultimately, I think the culprit may have known about the switching of the launch pads. What? How? The police found a wiretapping device during their investigation today. A bug aboard my battleship. A tap on my advanced communication system. A wire on that phone? Yes, a wire on this very phone. I used the phone to give instructions to my staff about the launchpad switch. Just to the few select members who knew about the plan. Just before the incident, staff members were coming in and out of launchpad 1. The culprit probably slipped in with them amid the confusion. And planted the bomb then. Yes, if they were tapping your phone, they definitely could pull something like that off. So you really think the same spy is behind this incident and the one 7 years ago? Yes, I'm sure of it. Then this spy must be the phantom Prosecutor Blackwell has been chasing. The hand have been up on the phantom of 7 years past continues even still. So if we can find this phantom, that's right, we can clear Athena's name. And then there's the matter of Prosecutor Blackwell too. What about him? Well, if the culprit of 7 years ago is the same person as in the current incident, it would mean Prosecutor Blackwell is innocent. That's still an if, though. Yeah, I mean, it's easy enough, right? Finding a spy? Ah, whatever. I wonder how dangerous that guy would be in court without handcuffs. If we're going on a ghost hunt, count me in. It's all over for me. Spin, spin, whirl, whirl, I'm done for. The scent of the cosmos is doomed. Wow. Do you think he's going to be alright? Well, at least he'll be in good company. There must be plans out there he can spin with. Which reminds me, I'd like to dive a little deeper into the Hat 1 mission too. You want to learn more? Start with the Space Museum. There's a Hat 1 exhibit there. Don't mind me, I'll just keep spinning here and see how the cosmos unfolds. Brother, I think the only thing you're going to be seeing is the inner workings of your stomach. It's like he's used spiritual enlightenment or something. I'm sure you stop when he gets dizzy. Let's go visit the Space Museum. Bye! Let's see. Where's the exhibit on the launch 7 years ago? There, that's the Hat 1 exhibit. Oh wow, look at the photo of the team. It's Clay and Mr. Starbuck, Director Cosmos, Aura Blackwell, and even Ponko. But I've never seen the woman on the right before. Well, you've seen her the last time you saw the picture, but you don't have a name. Everybody looks so happy. Well, except for Director Cosmos. Let's check out the newspaper article too. Hat 1 launch imminent. And there's a photo of the Hope space probe. I guess it's only natural it doesn't talk about the murder or the sabotage. They really were keeping it a secret just like the director said. Take a look at that jacket. It must be the Hat 1 team's uniform jacket. It's the same design as the one Apollo was wearing, the one that belonged to Clay. Actual jacket worn by a Hat 1 team member, it says. Not a replica, huh? I wonder if it was Mr. Starbucks. Newspaper clipping, a photo of the people involved in the launch, and a jacket one of them wore. Thank you for the hike time in the posture check. Yeah, that's a good quote. Hello? Hello? Oh, Miss Woods, what brings you here? I heard Dina got arrested, so I've been looking for you, Mr. Wright. I thought you might be here, at the scene. You must be so worried, but rest assured, I'm going to do my very best to defend her. Dina's going through such a hard time. I hope she doesn't lose heart. Even just coming back to the space must have been really difficult for her. Huh? You mean the Cosmos Space Center? What, you didn't know? She used to live here, when she was a little girl. She did? No, I didn't know. No wonder she knew so much. Miss Woods, could you tell me more in detail? Of course.
Nina's mom worked here. If I remember right, she was a doctor of psychology or something like that.
But why was a psychology specialist working at a space research facility?
I don't really know. But I do know that she lived and worked here, so Athena lived here too.
So it was far from Athena's first time here. I wonder why she didn't mention it.
She probably didn't want to talk about it. This place is connected to a very sad memory for her.
But we're obviously only going to find out right now. She knows the place. Guilty. That's not how that works. A sad memory. Can you tell me about it?
There was a terrible incident here. It was 7 years ago.
Same time frame as the Hat 1 launch.
Athena's mom, in the robotics lab, she was murdered.
What?
After it happened, Athena stopped coming to school.
Poor Athena. And all this time, she never let on at all.
I was so worried about her. I came here so many times hoping to see her.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I never saw her again. After a while, we started exchanging letters. But I didn't get to see her face to face for 7 long years.
And so the first time you'd seen her in 7 years was during Professor Court's case.
That's right, and I was so surprised. She was like a completely different person, so cheerful and happy.
Good for her. What was Athena like as a child?
She was very sensitive and kind. She didn't talk very much. She liked to draw and paint at home.
That's completely different from the Athena we know now. I can't even picture it.
She never left the Space Center much because she was very sensitive to other people's emotions. When she went to crowded places, she'd get dizzy from all the emotions flying around.
Must be hard to hear people's hearts as well as their voices.
She always wore those big heavy-looking headphones. She said her mother made them for her as part of her research.
Huh. I wonder what kind of research it was.
Because of her special ability, Athena couldn't handle being at school very often. And I was always out sick because of my weak constitution. Maybe that's why we became such good friends. We used to play together here at the Space Center a lot. It brings back memories.
Sounds like Athena's mother played a big role here at the Space Center.
Oh, show her that picture.
Ah, the girl, good idea. Gee, can you tell me who might have been her mother? Miss Woods, could you take a look at this for me?
Oh look, there's Tina's mom. The woman on the far right, the one in the kimono. That's Dr. Mita's psych.
Athena's mother's murder. Did there be any chance of any connection to the Hat 1 launch?
Right, yes, it did. As I recall, it happened on the day before that launch.
Just as I suspected. So this is the murder Director Cosmos was talking about. Does that mean that the crime Prosecutor Blacker was convicted of is the murder of Athena's mother? There's a chance her death is somehow connected to the current case.
There is?
Thank you for your help, Miss Woods. And please, try not to worry. I won't let anything happen to Athena.
Mr. Wright, I know you take good care of her.
Aww.
So we need to investigate the robotics lab and also talk to Athena.
Get our plates full.
I hope we can fit it all in before the day is through.
Attention Center first then. We have to see Athena before visiting hours are over. Okay. Well, if it is Mr. Lawyer, fancy meeting you here. Hello, Detective Fulbright. You on business? Tell the truth. I'm here to interview Ted Tone, the one behind the courtroom bombing incident. He certainly said he's ready to tell the truth about that case. And what he was saying was so incredible, I just had to come right over to hear more. Incredible? What was he saying? Why don't you hang around and hear it for yourself? Really? Us? Are you sure? I give you my special permission. Here comes the moment now. You! What nerve you have to come here? You're here to laugh at me, I suppose. I could waste my breath on you. After all, you're the one who assaulted Apollo and put him in a hospital. Violence? No. Question? Okay. No violence? Too bad Apollo didn't get a chance to say that before you attacked him. Hey. Fine, then just answer me this, Mr. Tornade. What is this truth of yours about the courtroom you blew up? No, I didn't do it. I didn't blow up the courtroom. When I killed Detective Arm, there was another person in the room. What are you talking about? Who else could have been there? I saw it, I tell you. I saw someone's hand as they were stealing the remote switch. This person was there and witnessed the murder I committed. What? I don't know who it was. But that's who blew up the courtroom. You expect us to buy that? Easy there, Trucy. I don't see any psych logs. So I guess he must not be lying. Pardon me. I got a little carried away. But I'm telling you the truth. I did not detonate that bomb. There you have it. We can't exactly ignore his claims, of course, so we're doing a follow-up. Or even analyzing the bomb itself or what's left of it. We haven't found any new facts yet, though. Alright, they've laid it all out, piece by piece. Oh, look at all those beautiful little pieces. Hey, I wish I could have them. Uh-oh. I think his geek switch has been activated.
Phony fatty bomb.
Fragments are being analyzed. Oh, I guess we get the bomb again. It's evidence. Well, I hope you're ready for Prosecutor Blackwell's special brand of questioning. Oh, anything but that. I'm afraid I have to be off now, too. I was just about to question Miss Sykes. You're going to see Athena now? That's right. Oh, did you folks come to see her? Sorry for the trouble, but could you come back later? Oh, off I go. What bad timing. Looks like we have to wait until after the questioning is over to see her. And after we came all this way too, I guess it's back to the Space Center. Let's go check out the robotics lab. See, the good thing is we never actually know how far away everything is, so you can just walk from one place to the other and never worry about how much time it actually takes. Unless the story is scripted in a way where it's like, oh, this is where you need to be to advance it. Your plan. Because otherwise it would be like, what do you mean? I walked the entire way and now I have to go back. That's just stupid. What the hell happened here? This is the robotics lab, huh? Looks like it's exactly one floor above the boarding lounge. And where people were directed to evacuate from via the emergency ladder. This is where Athena's mother was killed 7 years ago. Speaking of someone who works with robots. And look, over there! Ja-jam! So they plan to use this bag to carry the capsule, is that right? Yeah, more or less. I don't remember what voice I gave her. So why don't we stop talking about the case and have a nice cup of tea instead? Follow an Aura Blackwell. I wonder what they're talking about. Well, come to spoil our fun. Just when I was enjoying our alone time. Trucy and Mr. Ray. Yeah, hi. If it's a Polly you want, you can have him. He said he's investigating on his own. And I respect his wishes. We just came to investigate his lab. Well, this is my lab, so you need my permission if you want to do any snooping. That's fair. May we have your permission? I heard about the trial. You made mincemeat out of the director. And suddenly Starbuck was out and your little subordinate, the princess. Was it? Case closed, and they all lived happily ever after. Ha ha ha. Go to this place, close to the rest and walk a certain amount of steps. That would have been fucked up. A fitness game on the 3DS. I think some of the most surprising features I've ever seen used on the 3DS were through Pokemon. I don't remember which one it is, but there's one that evolves if you turn the 3DS around, right? I like when they make full use out of all of the features. The DS and the 3DS were very good. I like them. Say something to her. And I suppose you're going to defend the princess in court, am I right? Princess, huh? She's talking about Athena. Of course, Athena's innocent. Oh my, such loyalty and trust. She seems pretty suspicious to me, though. Emotionally unstable princess. There's your culprit for you. Don't you agree, Apollo? I don't know yet. Apollo, how could you? What's wrong with saying I don't know if it's true? It's a very scientific approach. Your subordinate is more level-headed than you. Or should I say, former subordinate. I can't believe it. Does Apollo really suspect Athena? All this laughing has worn me out. Your turn to say something, hunk of junk. Mr. Tehran, you look pale. Shall I help you to the sick bay? Mr. Tehran? But that's Apollo you're talking to. Oh, this hunk of junk here is mistaking Apollo for Clay because of the jacket. Maybe Apollo's possessed by Clay's ghost. Mr. Tehran, how are your injuries? Mr. Tehran... Oh no. How are your injuries? Oh. I guess Clay intends staying around to haunt the princess that murdered him. Oh, and to haunt the lawyer that defends her, too, of course. A robot that can see ghosts. Yeah, right. And I'm a spirit medium. Sorry, but apparently scientists just don't tell very frightening ghost stories. I intend to defend Athena, no matter what you have to say about it. Not perfectly foolish. That kind of blind belief makes people lose sight of the truth. Just like 7 years ago. Did you tell me about the incident 7 years ago? Why? Do you enjoy trampling on people's feelings and rubbing salt in their wounds? Or do you just want me to talk? In that case, what should I ask for in return? I'd like to hear about that incident too. It will help me understand the current case better. Oh, Apollo knows about that case too. Well, yeah, obviously. He's not stupid, he's doing a good job investigating. Well, if you're the one who's asking, Apollo, come on, hunk of junk, you tell the story. No! Please, let a human being tell the story.
But, Miss Aura, that's private information.
If you want to talk, I'll just have to make you talk. Don't make the robot say it. That's...
Yes, who cares about personal privacy? Not me. I am ready to utilize my blast processing abilities to impart all available information.
Oh, what a magic trick. He's like a completely different robot now.
The bodies of all the robots that come through this lab are designed by Miss Aura. I was born 7 years ago. Miss Aura was much, much younger then.
Thanks. But how much would you say if you don't want to get recycled, Uncle?
And then our hearts were created by that great genius, Dr. Metis Sykes.
Hearts. Robots with hearts. Can you even make such a thing? At least it's worth it. If you say that the best parts, I'm at least happy that it's worth it, because it does get quite exhausting at some point.
Emotions are not irrational things. Our logic and our hearts can be integrated. The two navigation companions created by Miss Aura and Dr. Metis transcend humans. I try.
Metis. Oh, she just glanced over at her desk. Yes, that's a very pretty picture. Nobody could continue Metis' research. She and her work were truly one of a kind. And now the two navigation companions are all that are left of Metis here on Earth. The robot's all that's left. Isn't she leaving out a very important someone? We built the ultimate creations together, but now she's gone. I get the feeling Dr. Sykes left her robots almost as much as she left her daughter. And almost as much as she loved you. What are you talking about? Don't make me laugh. But you lost someone too, didn't you, Apollo? Your friend Clay. I guess you and I are pretty much in the same boat.
Miss Aura, would you like a tissue?
Keep your trap shut, hunk of junk. Aww. Those names, though.
Clunk is an important keepsake of your time with Dr. Sykes. You should treat him better.
What does it matter? He doesn't feel pain, and I can always repair his body. Besides, their hearts aren't actually in their bodies. What do you mean by that? The program Metis wrote runs on a separate mainframe. Their bodies are controlled remotely from there. Oh, their hearts and memories are there too. These bodies are really just peripherals. So I can do anything I want to them. I'm not so sure that gives you the right to physically abuse the poor things. But why are you people looking into such an old case now, anyway? Well, we believe the culprit of that incident might be the same person as in this case.
So there's going to find out who killed Dr. Sykes too.
Damn it! I try to get around that word so much. But some sentences make it impossible. I'm sure you're aware of who Metis' killer is. Yes, Prosecutor Blackwell, or so it seems. That's a kind way of putting it. Are you implying you don't think he did it? I can't say anything for sure right now, but that's exactly why I'd like to hear your side of it, to help me be sure. I was the one who introduced Simon to Metis, you know? She's the first to die in a robot uprising. She is. It's funny because the way her hair is styled, she looks like she has two antennas on top of her head. He wanted to learn psychology, he said, to give himself an edge in court. Ah, Prosecutor Blackwell's forte, his infamous power of suggestion technique. Exactly, and he was oddly serious about it, rather than a teacher-student relationship. He treated her more like how a loyal samurai would treat a sovereign. Huh. He seems more like a lost soul than a dignified samurai to me. He even got along well with the miserable little princess.
Why do you call Athena the princess anyway?
Well, she's Metis' daughter after all, although she's nothing like her. Besides, doesn't a selfish little princess always have lots of white knights hanging around? Now I think I see why Athena didn't say anything when we ran into Aura yesterday. It all makes sense now. So the culprit behind the two cases should be the same, huh? Could be the same, huh? That settles it then. What does it settle? None of your business. Just forget you heard anything. How long are you people going to hang around in here anyway? What? Well, we came here to take a look around. You think you can just waltz in and ransack a person's lab? Show me a search warrant. Hey. We're not the police, so we don't have one. Then get out. Now. Clonko, show them out.
Certainly, Miss Aura.
Oh! Ouch! Don't push!
My apologies. I'm just following orders.
You look very mad while you're doing that, though. Well, that's unfortunate. What a way to get shown out. Enough of that woman. What's with that horrible attitude? I guess that's just how she is. And why was Apollo going along with her? I guess it's because they have something in common. Apollo lost Clay, just like how Aura lost Dr. Sykes. I'm really worried about him. He's not himself at all. He's usually not all cool and dark and mysterious like that. I guess that's true. Does she mean he's usually silly and dorky? He definitely is more silly and dorky. Usually. I'm going to keep an eye on him. Hey, wait, Trucy, come back. She's gone. What should I do now? The ticket Fulbright is probably still questioning Athena. Guess I'll go back to the office. Alone. Aww. Poor Phoenix. Alone. Well, here I am. This office has never felt so empty. Guess I haven't been here at the office all by myself in a long time. When I first became a lawyer, my mentor was here with me. And then for a while after that, she was always by my side. Now I'm getting all sentimental. I must be tired. Huh. There's something on the floor. What's the letter doing here? Hey Nick, it's been a while, huh? Miss me? I know this handwriting. I also know that there's only one person who calls you Nick. I heard someone that you were holding a trial in the middle of an exploding courtroom. That must have really been something. Although weird is par of the course with you. I think she, or whatever paper she's reading, is a little off on the details. I'd love to come visit, but I'm right in the middle of a difficult part of my training. So instead, think of me as you watch those steel samurai videos I send. I'm sure they'd cheer you right up. Yours truly, Maya Faye. Good old Maya. It's as if she knew I was feeling down and needed a lift. Maya was my assistant for quite a while. Believe it or not, but she's a spirit medium. As Magatama used some psych logs, Maya is the one who gave it to me. But I wonder how this letter got here. Mr. Nick? Oh, it's you, Pearls? Honestly, I like her 3D model. She looks very cute.
Really? How have you been, Mr. Nick?
Damn it, though. If we have Pearl and Trucy at the same time, I'm running out of voices I can do. This is Pearl Faye, though I call her Pearls. He's Maya's cousin, who's also a spirit medium. A very talented one at that. I've known her since she was 8 years old, but Apollo and Athena only met her a few months ago. You didn't come all this way just to bring me a letter, did you?
I apologize for barging in. The door was unlocked. But I can't believe there was a big explosion here. Your office doesn't look any different.
He's even further off in the details than Maya. I wish I could take you out to eat or something, Pearls, but there's a lot going on.
Oh, I knew that. I didn't come here for a social visit, you know, Mr. Nick. Mr. Nick.
No?
Did you read the postscript on the letter?
Huh? There's more? Oh yeah, here it is. Yes. I bet you've been too busy to clean and take care of the office, so Purdy said she would come help you. Isn't she sweet? You better thank her. Oh. So that's what you're doing here? That's awfully nice of you, Pearls. Maya and Pearls. So these two, I'm starting to feel a little better. Thank you, girls. Game was like, hey, by the way, did you know this is the game's official last case? Not counting the DLC case that is now included. But chronologically, the last case. So we're going to cram every single character in here. Just wait.
Now that I'm here, I'm going to whip this place into shape. You just concentrate on your work and don't mind me at all.
I'll need to talk to Prosecutor Blackwell if I want to learn more about this case. If the trial's still going on, they must be holding him down at the detention center.
Okay. Has it been a while since you've seen Mystic Maya?
Yes, quite a while. She used to drop by the office sometimes to say hello. But she hasn't been by recently. I wonder what she's up to these days.
To become a spirit medium worthy of heading the Fae clan, she undergoes rigorous training. But she says she's growing really tired of the vegetarian diet.
I have to have some burgers delivered to her then.
Oh, I'm sure she would love that. But to get to where she is, the delivery person would have to climb a steep mountain.
I hope she tips them well then. Oh, Phoenix. Oh, Phoenix. Back to your detention center then. Well, look who's here. I wonder what they're talking about. All this time you haven't said a word. It's even turning your hair grey. I don't have anything to say, Aura. Why don't you go home and play with your dolls? Oh. Prosecutor Blackwell. Well, even if you don't, I have plenty, you jerk. Miss Blackwell, don't you think that's enough for today? Enough for today? Today's all days when there's no tomorrow. There's no tomorrow? What is she talking about? We have company, Aura. Please try to calm down. Alright, fine. I see you're just not going to listen no matter what I say. I've had it. If that's the way you're going to be, I have another plan up my sleeve. I hope you're happy, Simon, because I'm done. Do as you please. See if I care. Ooh. What is going on here? Ow. I could cut the tension with the katana. Right, Dono. It looks like Fulbright saved your case in court this morning. What? Oh. Yeah, he did. You weren't back to business quick. Prosecutor Blackwell, forgive me, but it was just a thing to do. But, as a result, Sykes Stoner was arrested. Was that the just thing to do, too? Mr. Lawyer, I'm sorry, but it was evidence. What else could I do? Don't worry about it. I plan to defend her and prove her innocence. I wouldn't take things so lightly if I were you. Oh, he looks weird. Yes, obviously, since, like, they don't have to bother drawing a completely differently posed sprite anymore since I have the 3D model, but the 3D model tilted like this looks weird. I don't like seeing him from this angle. This is blade-proof glass, right? I would assume he doesn't have a blade in there at all, but what the hell do I know? Prosecutor Blackwell, we're looking into the case from 7 years ago. You're looking for somebody you call the Phantom of 7 years past, aren't you? You villain! Did you hear about that? La 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 la. Glass is absolutely, positively blade-proof, right? No, it wasn't me. I didn't say a single word. Oops. Ouch. At least it wasn't my fault. Could you tell me who this Phantom is? And also, you didn't really kill Dr. Sykes, did you? Guard, the guest is leaving. Prosecutor Blackwell, please listen to me. The culprit in the current case might be the same as the one in the case 7 years ago. If you would cooperate, we could probably solve both cases. I suppose I could talk. The one who killed my mentor was, without question, me. I stole Sykes Stoner's mother away from her. I destroyed her life. Could a black one? God, where are you? Stop dragging your feet, I tell you. Damn. There he goes. We've upset Prosecutor Blackwell. Now what were you going to do, Mr. Lawyer? You could learn my name. There isn't much we can do. Detective Fulbright, do you mind if I ask you just a little more about that old case? Well, I guess it won't make any difference now. What would you like to know? Do you know anything about the trial that got him convicted? A little. The police call the incident the UR1 incident. You are. Ooh. Ooh. Prosecutor Blackwell was charged with murdering his psychology mentor. Kind of like if you or Red, Mr. Lawyer, were to kill you. Why would you say that? I don't want to think about that one. There were 2 decisive pieces of evidence, so a verdict was reached very quickly. 2 pieces of evidence, huh? What were they? Let's see. The first was some security camera footage. He was the only one who used the corridor to the murder scene at the time of the crime. The only one, huh? Ouch, that does sound pretty decisive. Could you show me that footage? Oh, sorry, I don't have it with me right now. So I'll have to see it some other time. Video showing the corridor to the crime scene, Blackwell was the only one to pass through at the time of the crime. And what was the second piece of evidence? This one's even more incriminating. A photo of the moment of the crime. See? There he is at the crime scene holding a bloody katana. That is not the moment of the crime, though. That is him holding a bloody katana. It was the victims kept on display in the room. She had a thing for Japanese culture. No, she was literally just a Japanese person, the original, but sure, okay. Like all of them. Ow. You had to explain this one away. The weapon used in the murder 7 years ago, it belonged to the victim. The victim's blood was found only on the blade. But who took this picture, detective? The incident happened the day before the Hat 1 launch. A reporter who had come to do a story on the launch was in the room across from the lab. This just happened to show up in one of the pictures he took. Taken inadvertently, it became conclusive evidence at Simon Blackwell's trial 7 years ago. Prosecutor Blackwell's attitude earlier was so odd. He's definitely hiding something. Prosecutor Blackwell said he was hunting a phantom from 7 years ago, didn't he? Yes. And I imagine it's getting more and more urgent as his execution date approaches. What did you just say? Execution date? I mean, we might keep forgetting because he is in the courtroom with us, but he is a death row inmate. What? Did I say something? Never mind me, you didn't hear a thing. I did. So he was given the death sentence. Yes. He told me not to tell you people, actually. But I guess there's no sense hiding it anymore. His execution date is tomorrow. What? Tomorrow? Oh. But what if the culprit of the current case is the same as the one from 7 years ago? Then it would be the worst possible scenario. Prosecutor Blackwell would be executed tomorrow under a false charge. But that would be unthinkable. We have to do something right now. I want to do something. I want to, but... You're a lawyer. You know how it is to overturn a decision. Why? Why isn't Prosecutor Blackwell putting up any kind of fight? You saw how he was, right? He's been like that ever since his conviction. Totally uncooperative. Not even his own sister could persuade him. Uncooperative. When he's about to be executed for a crime he didn't commit. This isn't right. I can't let it happen. I have to stop it somehow. Pardon me. Looks like I have a phone call. Oh, right here. What? What's happening? You got to be kidding. That's quite a reaction. I bet he's making some big show of it right now. Mr. Lawyer, the robots. The robots are... Detective Fulbright, get a hold of yourself. Some kind of robot malfunction? Not a malfunction. They're staging a revolt. The machines are rebelling against humans. I guess a robot uprising is coming sooner than we expected. They've holed themselves up in the space center, taking the visitors as hostages. They did what? Juicy. Juicy's still in there. Oh my god, true. You have to get right over there. This is going to be one heck of a battle. All this. I'm sorry, we have blood, we have murder, but they cannot say hell. They have to say heck. The riot police are here. Then the robots are really holding people hostage. Look, Mr. Lawyer, what do you suppose that group of people are swarmed around? And I was only trying to help this nice person. She said she was lost. You robots have declared war on us humans. You've even taken hostages already. Stay with him, right? You never know what I'll do. It's not a bad robot. Can you see he's just trying to help me? Recognize the voice. Detective Fulbright, are you okay here on your own? I don't recognize the voice. Who is it? Leave it to me. Alright, people, what's going on here? Oh, it's Pearly! Over here.
Mr. Nick, there you are. I heard the terrible news and I got so worried.
Thanks, Pearls. I can hardly believe what's happening myself.
I'm so glad you found each other. When people are happy, I am happy.
Coco seems to be the same as before.
When people are sad, I am happy. When people are angry, when people are... Oh, did I say something odd? Did I error?
Uh-oh. There is something wrong with him. Ooh!
It looks like he fell asleep. He must have been tired.
Oh, Pearl! Clonko? Evil Clonko!
Human beings are our enemies. It's time for the machines to take over.
The robots are rebelling! Everybody ran! It's an all-out war, it's the end of it's one singular robot.
Ha ha ha! Fools! How could you fall for something so cliché? I'm human too, you idiots. I'm just controlling these robots remotely.
What?
But it is true that I've taken hostages, so you better not make me mad.
Okay, to be fair, if she's just speaking through Clonko right now, I wonder if the voice would still sound the same.
Hey you, hostage number 1. Come here, I'll let you talk to them.
Huh. There's something being displayed on Clonko's face screen. It's a space museum.
Hello, Trucy.
Trucy, are you? No. Trucy, are you alright?
About 15 robots are holding 12 of us hostage. They've gone haywire. I researched the one behind. She's here.
Ugh!
This girl talks too much.
Trucy!
Why are you doing this? I'm glad you asked. My demand is simple. I hope that detective is listening.
We'll be full right here. I'm always...
I want you to bring someone to me. Play Tyran's murderer, Athena Sykes.
Athena? Now hold on just one moment. I can't just give unto a demand like that.
So you don't care what happens to these hostages, huh? I'll just pick one out then.
No, wait. Mr. Lawyer. I know I've absolutely no right to make such a ridiculous request, but you need me to buy some time, right? Got it. I'll see what I can do. Promise me. Promise me you never hand Athena over and you won't give up on the hostages either. Of course I won't. I better go contact headquarters.
So Nick, how do you plan to buy time?
No idea yet, but this hostage taker... Could it be... I wonder who it could be.
If you don't bring me that little princess, I'll have hunk of junk kill all the hostages.
Princess? Hunk of junk? There's only one person this could be. In which case, there must be something I can use as a bargaining chip.
Hi, Raiders, welcome in. Good evening. I'm new. I like the color pink. Vision of Jeopardies. We're currently playing Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. We're on case 5. How are you? How was Silk Song? Welcome.
Miss Hostage Taker, Athena's not a murderer.
What are you talking about? She's been arrested and they've got her in detention.
She is arrested on suspicion of murder. That doesn't mean she is the murderer. Jesus. Was good. I'm glad to hear that. Figure out which Ace Attorney this is. Yeah, no, this is Dual Destinies. But specifically the more modern version that is included in the second trilogy. Because the second trilogy they're calling Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy. Even though Apollo is not the main character in all of them. So technically it's a 5th mainline title. To make that easier on you. I'm telling you the truth. Look, the person you want is the real killer, right? Well, it's not Athena. It's someone else.
Alright, let's hear your stupid little theory. Who is this real killer?
I don't know yet, but the culprit is the same as the one in the case from 7 years ago. The UR1 incident. I believe you have a personal interest in that case?
It's too late to change what's going to happen now, no matter how wrong it is.
Oh my god! Hello! Almost a double raid! Hi, raiders, welcome in! I'm new. I like the color pink, vision of his JRPGs, and we're currently playing Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. Oh, there's 2 raids. Back to back. Hello. I hope you're all doing fine. Also, thank you for the raids. I hope you had fun playing the convenience store. Oh, and some non-binary. Okay, now we're matching. Now we're matching with the evil robot. Hello! Non-binary from the Bunny Raiders. Aw, that's very sweet. Thank you. Is it really too late? You can still do something about it. You might even be able to fix it.
Just what exactly are you proposing?
What can I do about the 7-year-old case to satisfy the hostage taker? Recreate it. Retry it in court. I propose we retry the case from 7 years ago. If you make that demand now, I'm sure nobody will deny you. No, we're trying to get people out of jail. It wouldn't be an official trial, but at least we could find out the truth.
That's good. Real good.
You get no worries at all. Thank you so much for coming by. Get some rest.
Hey, detective, I'll give you 1 hour. Get a courtroom ready.
This was originally on the 3DS. Yes, this is the 5th mainline title. The first one they made in 3D. Yes. 1 hour? But that's impossible. Please give me at least until tomorrow. Nope.
If you don't mind losing hostages, you can take all the time you want. Oh, but wait. If we're going to have a retrial, we'll need a prosecutor. Don't worry, I'll take care of that.
She will?
And I guess I can be fair and let you come in and check out the crime scene. But hunk of junk here will be watching you, so don't try anything funny. You got that? I am slowly losing my voice trying to do this. Now, follow, hunk of junk. Right, police, make way. We're coming through.
You only got the 3rd game. Oh, to the 3rd game? I mean, I think they're very nice and easily accessible with the new releases, the new trilogies. Especially, like, if you already know, or if you've already played, like, say, the 4th game or whatever, and you just want to continue, you don't need to play through it again. You can just jump in on whatever case you want. Whatever game you want. I think that's very nice. You love this guy.
So Nick, wait, I'll help you with the investigation.
Thanks, Pearls. I appreciate that. Okay, we're going in. I don't feel safe with those giant drills and everything. But maybe that's just me. Or I dropped us off with a warning not to touch anything until she got back. You're so happy to see Pearl again. Me too, she's so cutie. You play through all of them every once in a while. Mood. To be fair, this is the last one of the mainline titles that I had played. I got up to this. No, I did play a little bit of Spirit of Justice on the 3DS. I played all of them on the 3DS. I never really played the originals. I only ever played like the slightly ported versions on the 3DS already. And then this one I completed. But I don't retain all memory of it, and Spirit of Justice I started, but I never got through, so I'm doing them all again. And I'm hoping by the time will be done with Spirit of Justice at some point, that maybe Capcom and Level 5 will have worked together to be like, hey, you know what we could do after we've ported every single other thing? We could bring over the Professor Layton versus Ace Attorney game. So it's no longer stuck on just a 3DS. That would be cool. It's a mecha, yeah. You played them on mobile? Oh, I mean, why not? I had them on the 3DS. But it is nice to see them on a big screen on PC, for sure. Instead of games to remake, they should release A7 at this point. Fair. But frankly, I just don't believe in it very much. I just don't see it happening. I'm so serious. I don't think Capcom is going to give us a 7th Ace Attorney. I don't know. I'm hoping that the next Professor Layton is going to sell really well, so they realize, oh, okay, the PC is a viable release platform. So they'll bring us the 6 Professor Layton games in a nice HD collection, or maybe 2. I wouldn't mind 2 HD collections. I would pay. I would pay for them, okay? They already remade the first 3 in HD, but only for mobile phones. The non-release dates, for real. I mean, I never believed in the Layton game coming out this year. I'm just hoping that once it comes out, it like actually makes them realize, or gives them enough money to try and give us the others as well. You don't have hopes. We're all out here. One day, Capcom will silently drop Ace Attorney 7 on us, and like we'll rise from the ashes, and we'll be like, oh, I never thought this would happen.
I wonder it's taking so long, but we can't really start the investigation yet, can we?
Even if we could, this mess makes it hard to tell what the room was like 7 years ago.
Mr. Wright.
Ah, it's a hostage taker.
I'm back to my usual self now. You are still being monitored, however. But more importantly, an important guest has arrived.
A guest? A guest! With a... Oh, I wonder who this could be. Oh, isn't that crazy? You know what actually fucks me up, though? The red of his car is not the same kind of red as his clothes.
I trust you've been well, right?
And he's finally wearing glasses because he's realized he can't see shit.
Edgeworth, what are you doing here, see? They're getting everyone back together. He is so. This is Miles Edgeworth. We've been friends since we were kids. And straight here into the call, he came in. Yes! He's like, I don't care about anything else. I might be busy with, at work. Let's do this! We faced off in court a number of times back when he was a prosecutor, but now... Wait, what is he now? Is he not a prosecutor anymore?
Hello, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Oh, but you're not a prosecutor anymore, are you?
He's chief prosecutor now. That's still a prosecutor. Okay, pretty soon it'll be a year, right? We've been friends. Very close friends. Here's a gripe I have with Capcom. Hey, you apparently don't need to have played the previous games. You can jump in wherever you'd like. But also, we're going to give you characters that show up through these games again and again and again. And that had the title of main character in their own spin-off games, for example. And also are just all around important. We're not letting them go. But you can jump in wherever. No? No. You should play these in order. Title is nothing more than a title. Don't we have more pressing issues to discuss? Yes, you are right as hell. Edgeworth has always been wide, but like, even in this 3D model, he's like the only guy who retains the width, I feel like. Yeah, all your shoulders. You played in reverse? I feel like if you played in reverse, that would be an experience I don't think I wish upon anyone. He's generally like our friends can be more than friends, so true. You go back to when he's a rookie. Okay, to be fair, that would be funky. That would be funky. Because even as a legendary attorney, he's still like bumbling around in court, so there's not that much difference. Thank you for the non-answering. So what are you doing here, Edward? The captain chose me as a prosecutor for the UR1 case. Wow, she's good. She went all the way up to the top. I gathered all the information I could in the short time that I had. I'll give you a rundown. You're always so well prepared, Prosecutor Edgeworth. You want to see me play Spirit of Justice? I will! I'm gonna take an Ace Attorney break after we're done with this game and put some other games in between, so I'm assuming not this year anymore. Like, it's already October. But next year, I think, I'm gonna make Spirit of Justice a point. So, I hope you wait for me. You will be there out of the way? Aw, thank you. Thanks, I appreciate this. I could really use the help. I did, actually. I never played the original Ghost Trick, but we did play the re-release on stream. So, a Ghost Trick definitely. I see why people say you should play that game. It is very much newer approved. Yes, you should try and get to it. It was very good. It also made me finally understand, due to some mini games, it made me understand, what are they called? Those puzzles where you have a picture and you need to get it back in its proper order, but you can only move the tiles. I don't know what they're called in English. I am not very good at these. But Ghost Trick made me understand them. Ghost Trick made me understand sliding puzzles. I am, at least at the time when I was playing Ghost Trick, I was finally like, oh, I was enlightened. So just some things I really want to see you react to. I will get to it. I'm not going to run out of games anytime soon, don't worry about it. I just want to do something that's slightly shorter than the Ace Attorney games in between. I wanna get some more games done this year. So, I start with a brief overview. The victim was the psychologist Dr. Meta Sykes, whose eyes still look weird on that picture, if I might say so. Yeah, Athena's mother. 7 years ago, on the 7th of October, her body was found here in this very room. I have 2 crime photos and the police notes on them for you to see. The next game is such a puzzle you forgot again. Yes, because there was a time in between where I just didn't do them at all. Ooh. What a terrible way to die. Okay, this other photo shows the other side of the room, I see. The photos of the body and the crime scene. They were taken by the first person to discover the body. Who was the first person to discover the body? I also have the autopsy report for you. Cause of death was a stab wound in the chest. The weapon pierced the heart, and so death was instantaneous. Ooh. The murder weapon was the victim's own katana found at the scene. Yes, Detective Fulbright mentioned she was into Japanese culture. I find it so funny. I find it so funny when they change the script this way. Yes, because we're not in Japan. We're in California. The body was found by a Space Center staff member and 2 police officers. The police were called in because of the sabotage threat on the Head 1 launch. Yes, Director Cosmos mentioned this too. A few hours after the body was discovered, a suspect was arrested. The suspect was Simon Blackwell, a young prosecutor. Okay. On what grounds? I hear his trial was over in a flash. Yes, the guilty verdict was declared in only one session. Not only did he plead guilty, but there was decisive evidence against him too. Security camera video. And a photo of the moment of the crime, as I recall.
But that Prosecutor Black will have a motive.
I think that this specific sprite from Pearl actually does carry over really well from her 2D. You cannot say that I'm only mad about the 3D. There are parts that look nice. To this day, his motive is still unknown. He insisted he did it, but he would never say why. So that means he must still be hiding something. Right. And there's another aspect of the case that was never revealed to the public. Yeah, I know. The part about the spy, right? Right. How on earth do you know about that? Dr. Cosmos told me after a bit of pressure. He told me espionage and sabotage were behind the Had One miracle.
Don't worry, I won't tell anyone. I've always been good at keeping secrets.
Well, I might as well tell you now. They really do suspect Blackwell of being a spy. They think he sabotaged the rocket and killed Dr. Sykes to steal the moon rock. But if you can prove that the Hat 2 bombing is the work of the same spy, you can say the execution. It's a possibility. That's why I intend to help you in any way I can.
Thanks, Edgeworth.
Now all I have to do is come there's room for evidence.
Suit together.
Okay. Oh, let's examine. Ay. So she died right here. I wouldn't want to keep... I'm not sure I would want to keep working in a room like this. It looks like an operating table. It's in the photo too. Yes, it was here then as well, with the victim's body lying on it.
There's a button here.
Oh, I know. I tried put... No! Girls, don't touch the...
Oopsie.
Hey,
it's moving.
What the fuck is that? It appears to be a robot assembly device.
Disassemble anything in a flash, push the dismantle button. That sounds pretty neat. Can I push it, Mr.
Stop pushing buttons! Please don't push any more buttons, Pearls. Okay. Wait, I should start on this side though. It's about as cluttered as my office, but I think it's a workbench.
Mr. Nick, I think this must be a kitchen. Look at this photo. See the cute little food processor?
Oh, that isn't a food processor, Pearls. That's a Hope capsule. It was scheduled to be loaded onto the Hope space probe that fateful day. The 3 people who came to collect the capsule discovered the body. The first on the scene, huh? A staff member and 2 police officers, was it? And they were here to collect a capsule. Which reminds me. Anti-use is bad. Oh yeah, true. Colin or Blackwell. Yes. Edgeworth, did those 3 people have a bag with them for transporting the capsule? Oh, you mean this? It's a custom-made, shock-resistant bag. But how do you know? Oh! I just overheard Apollo making an inquiry about it, that's all. So he's looking into the case from 7 years ago on his own, is he? Yes. How much do you know about Apollo not working with me right now? Was the crime scene 7 years ago? It was launched into space and only returned to Earth a few days ago.
Okay.
What the hell are you? This is one heck of a robot.
Something written on it. Is this supposed to be a poem? I cut down anyone who displeases me. I make the rules. I am the law. I wield the ultimate gavel of judgment. I am Judgetron JT's hero too.
I don't believe you need to bother with that, Pearl. It's not even completed yet. He's right, Pearls. There's no sign of it on the photo from 7 years ago either. They were building the Hope space probe here at the time. The murder occurred after the space probe had been removed from the room. So it was long gone by the time someone took this picture, huh? Okay.
But you can see the probe in this newspaper photo.
It's really big. Yes, and you can see the stone moon rock there too. Strange black and yellow thing on the left side of the picture. Note that the same rock is absent from the crime scene photo. Oh, true. Piece of moon rock or stone. True, true, true. Chance of a huge impact. That we are. That's like one of the most realistic parts in this entire case. That everyone is trying to be the first to find out something new about space. So the person who stole it think it was our spy? I'm sure of it. Dr. Sykes was probably killed because she was a roadblock in their plan. Unfortunately, the government thinks Prosecutor Blackwell is the culprit. Yeah. What about these guys? Look at those rough rolling cases. I bet the wheels make it easier for people to move heavy research materials around.
I bet they'd be fun to ride around in. You could even probably both fit into the biggest one.
I
know, we could have prosecuted Batshworth pushers. Why do you want to be inside of them?
I don't trust him not to push us down a flight of stairs. Hello? Why would you say that? An emergency ladder? This must be the one they used during the evacuation. Edgeworth can push me into bed? What? The emergency ladder. Yes, we are aware of that. As soon as Blackwell was climbing down the side of the building, she saw the culprit inside. I wonder which would have been scarier, that or looking down. Probably depends on if you have a problem with heights. It was lowered to the ground from the window of the 4th floor robotics lab. It was used to evacuate Space Center personnel. Okay, and what about the desk? Aura's desk is a mess, so that doesn't surprise me.
Oh, I just want to dive in and straighten it up.
Wait, before you do. This is really pretty. Let's meet the Sykes. Clunko, can I talk to you? I really hope he's back to normal.
You wish to speak to me, Mr. Wright. If you're going to hit me, please avoid the face area.
I don't want to hit you, I want to talk to you. Come on. Don't put me in the same class as that woman. What was Aura like 7 years ago at the time of the incident?
When Mother died, Miss Aura was confused.
Huh, so he calls Dr. Sykes' mother, but Aura Blackwell Miss Aura.
With the loss, she exhibited a severe
mean
imbalance.
POV, you're not a native English speaker.
Excuse me, but I have no idea what that means. Pardon me, searching for alternative expression. She would spend the nights crying and then take out her feelings on those around her.
After Prosecutor Blackwell was found guilty, she repeatedly demanded a retrial as well.
That is correct, but without new evidence, her requests were ignored. And then, little by little, Miss Aura began to change. She started to hate it when I called her Mama Aura.
And before long, she started hating the court system and abusing Clunko, huh?
The murder destroyed so many lives.
That's usually how it goes with murders. Right, take a look at this paper on Dr. Sykes and Mrs. Blackwell's research. Clunko and Clunko, they're the robots with hearts that Dr. Sykes created. Clunko's serious features. Can determine the presence of a human with their heartbeat detection system. Recognizes people by scanning their spacesuit or uniform jacket ID tag. Can also recognize a person by facial features once the face has been registered. Can infer people's emotions by analyzing their tone of voice and communicate with them. Ooh! A heartbeat detection system lets them determine when a human is present. In addition, they can recognize people by the ID tag or facial features. And they can infer people's emotions by analyzing their tone of voice. That's amazing. I don't know, Edgeworth, they might even be more human than you. Phoenix! What the fuck? What's that supposed to mean? Kind of sounds like these robots can do what Athena does. Thanks to recognition and communication features of the Ponko series of robots. Well, I guess that's about it for this room. So what do you think, right? Any ideas? There's still a lot of gaps in the evidence, but I pulled it off somehow. After all, you asked me to prove Blackwell's innocence, right, Edgeworth? What? You did? Yes. Yep. He called it a special request. He showed to me while I was still disbarred. Oh. So that was what sparked you to get your attorney's badge back. Yep, the Blackwell case. Ah. Right, I have a special request. I want you to clear one of my subordinates of suspicion. I'm not even a lawyer anymore, remember? Haven't been one for a long time. That 8-year misunderstanding has been cleared up, and you must be eager to return. I'm sure you're familiar with the other case that ushered in the dark age of the law. Very soon, a convict will stand as a prosecutor in court. I want you to keep an eye on him. Just when I'm beginning to actually like the job I have now. Right, I'm sorry I dragged you into this. Because of the espionage aspect, I wasn't free to give you all the details. You don't need to apologize. It's like I said on the phone the other day. I know that the type of criminals you're after now aren't small fries anymore. It looks like your target finally just— oh, that's from that scene! Oh my god. Okay, that is actually a while ago. I'm going to enter dark age of the law. That's what this is all about. Ooh. The dark age of the law. It sure comes up a lot these days on TV and in the papers. And I hear there are more false charges and fabrication of evidence than ever. When I became chief prosecutor, the court system had already lost the people's trust. It all began 8 years ago. Yes, we played that game. A lawyer was caught fabricating evidence, and a year after that, the prosecutor was found guilty of murder.
Wait, do you mean—
That's right. He's talking about my case, and Prosecutor Blackwell. It was a downward spiral after that, an absolute nightmare. After those 2 cases, the mass media launched an all-out attack on the courts. Public opinion was tainted, and before long, the legal word itself was sucked into it. It's such a shame. Once suspicion forms, it's very hard to shake. Lawyers and prosecutors were supposed to trust each other, pursue the truth together.
It's so sad when people begin to cast doubt. They start lying to themselves and each other.
Yes, and do absolutely anything to win. We're in an age now where winning is valued far more than the truth. I'm sure it's caused our new chief prosecutor to lose many a night's rest. Is it just me, or did his brow get even more furrowed than the last time I saw him? The hostage taker's disdain for the courts is a perfect example of the times. Sure is. Do you have any idea who the hostage taker might be? Yes! Well, somebody who mistrusts the court system and who can manipulate robots. It can really only be Aura Blackwell. Who else but her would want a retrial of that case from 7 years ago so badly? Sammy Blackwell's older sister and the owner of this room. I agree with your conclusion. Perhaps she intended to force Miss Sykes to confess. Actually, I think she had a much more horrific plan in mind for Athena. It's not very nice. The important thing is for you to solve UR1 and prove Blackwell's innocence.
And then maybe she released the hostages.
I'm counting on you, right? To set the prosecutor and those hostages free. Okay. I'll be counting on you in court to help me too. Of course, I'll do everything I can to help uncover the truth. As this is an unofficial trial, I'm more at liberty to be a little unorthodox.
Mr. Wright, are you finished with your investigation?
Yeah, but I'd like you to tell the hostage taker something for me. I have to go to the detention center. I can't start the trial until I've talked to Athena.
She's already given her consent. I'll accompany you to the detention center.
So I'm still being watched, huh? I see you in court, Ashworth. Even if it will be an undocumented trial, it'll be good to face you in court again. She was right by my side only a few short hours ago. But I feel like I haven't seen her in ages. Oh, Mr. Wright!
Hello.
And Pearly, too. I knew you would come. After all, the first step is the interview with the defendant. And because you're my friend and I was worried about you. Thanks, boss. I'm not the only one who's worried either. Really? Who else? I saw Miss Woods today. She was so beside herself she came to find me. She told me you used to live in the Cosmos Space Center. No wonder you knew so much about the place. Oh, so you know, huh? I'm sorry I didn't tell you. That's alright. But there's some other things I'd like to ask you. Sure, you can ask me anything. I promise I won't keep any more secrets from you. Oh! Well, I'm not so sure about that. Maybe you're keeping some secrets you're not even aware that you're keeping them. Tell me about the day Clay was murdered. I was actually at the Space Center that day. In the Space Museum. And right where the culprit fled to. That's not good. I never could fully deal with what happened 7 years ago. But when I saw the center again during the news coverage of the HAT 2 launch, I thought maybe if I went there things would be different this time. It must have taken a lot of courage to face your past like that. So I went to the Space Museum the evening before the explosions. This was before the launch pads had been switched. There was a sign that said closed for repairs and they weren't letting anybody in. Yeah, the director couldn't very well switch the pads if there were people in there. But I snuck in anyway. Did you want to see the HAT 1 group photo, the one with your mother in it? I did, but what I really wanted to see was her jacket. Jacket on display. That was Dr. Sykes's. Oh, that's some info. And the jacket worn by Dr. Sykes. But I should have known it wouldn't be easy to get over such a traumatic experience. The second I saw that jacket, it all came rushing back to me. Everything around me went hazy and I couldn't see. I tried to get out of there somehow. But I guess I passed out. When I came to, I was in a passage behind the rocket. I was in the shadows where people couldn't really see me. Maybe you got confused and went the wrong way when you were trying to leave? How long do you think you were unconscious, Athena? I was out until about noon of the next day. I didn't even know about the explosions. When I woke up, nobody was around, so I just went out into boarding lounge, too. My mind must have still been fuzzy, because my memory is vague after that. I don't remember how I got home. No memory, huh? This is gonna be tough. Which means, what if I'm the one who killed Clay? Sure. I think that's enough of that, Athena. Athena, let's talk about something else. So during the entire incident, she was unconscious in the Space Museum. Of course I believe her. But will anybody else? What kind of research was Dr. Sykes, your mother, doing? Machines that could tell people's emotion by their tone of voice. And my special ability. Someday when people travel to distant planets, their companions will be robots. So she said that they had to be able to understand how their human companions felt. Ow, robots that can understand people. I was just a convenient subject for her research. All she ever did was work, and she never paid any attention to me. Oh, sorry about that, dredging up all that old stuff. No need to apologize. I guess our home life was complicated. Oh, by the way, Miss Wood said something about you always wearing headphones. Yup. I had to wear them every time I went out. I hated them so much, but she wouldn't listen. What were they for? She gave me some kind of explanation, but I don't remember now. It was too difficult for a little kid to understand. Okay, but let me say this one thing. I don't think your mother only thought of you as some handy subject for her research. I want to believe that, but just about the only things my mother left me with are widgets. And this earring. Just one singular earring. It's beautiful. It is a very pretty earring though. It's made of a piece of real moon rock she had for research. Maybe she did love me, in her own way. I'm sure of it. I'm really sure she did. Because that's what I want to believe too. An earring that Dr. Sykes gave to Athena. The stone was cut from a real moon rock that was being used for research. I better ask her a little more about her mother's research. I should show her that paper found in the robotics lab. True. Oh, the Pongo series. You must have gone to the robotics lab. Yes! You seem to really love Pongo and Congo. Yeah, my mother made them and I grew up around them, you know? It's one of those cute little robots in this photo too. See Pongo's bandages? I put those on her. I just wound them around and around. Pretty bad job, huh? But I really put my all into it. I hadn't left the center in those days, so I didn't have any human friends besides Junie. I didn't really understand the difference between robots and people back then. I thought that if a robot broke, bandaging it would help it get better. What a weirdo I was. Oof. I mean, not that weird. It looks like there's something written on the bandages. Yeah, I wrote stuff like, "Get well soon, Pongo." Look at all these. I mean, it's a nice picture, actually. In the end, my mom just put her on the operating table and fixed it in a flash. Oh, that must be the thing I made move in a robotics lab. I was so impressed by what my mom did. I even asked her if she would put me on the table and fix me if I ever got hurt. It looked just like magic to me what she could do. A little girl who grew up around robots. She seems to have some good memories of it. On a different subject, did you hear about the person holding up the Space Center? Yes, a little. And this person is even taking hostages? So better spare the news about Trucy. Well, after some negotiating, we agreed to do a retrial of the case from 7 years ago. What? You're kidding me? So that means Prosecutor Blackwell might... Yep. I know he's innocent. I just have to prove it. Easiest thing in my life. So wait, did you know him back then? Yes, he used to come visit my mom a lot. He studied psychology under her and would sometimes ask for advice on his legal cases. He was very kind and considerate, and straight as an arrow. Unlike now, where he's more twisted than a basket of snakes. And gay. What? That's why I took the witness stand during his trial 7 years ago. Except you were a little kid and overwhelmed. Please, you have to listen to me. He didn't kill her. He started screaming that he didn't kill her. I was a fool. How could anybody else know what I was talking about? She heard the voice of his heart. You were only 11 then, right? You were very, very brave just to give testimony. How old is... Pearl at this point, anyway. 17! Wow, okay. That's crazy. Wait, they're almost the same age. Oh my god. And I keep giving Pearl this voice from when she was a small child. Okay, well. Pulse is right. You did the very best you could at the time. But nothing I said did any good. I was a shaking and scared little girl. Small and ineffectual. Even after I went to live with my relatives in Europe, I stayed closed up in my shell. But you're different now. You're always so bright and cheerful. Thanks. And that's because one day, I came to realize that I had to fight. I couldn't give up. I exercised hard and studied hard. I wanted to become the strongest lawyer I could be. Aww. No, no. I didn't want to click that one again. I wanted to click the new one. See. I wish the cursor would immediately jump to the new one, so this couldn't happen. There we go. I wanted to save Simon, but I had no idea how. Then I met Mr. Wright, and thanks to him, I realized that if I became a lawyer, I could prove that Simon was innocent. I also realized that psychology could help me do this. I mean, psychology was my mother's specialty. When I studied it, I felt like she was there with me, supporting me. It doesn't seem like Athena knows. The prosecutor Blackwell is due to be executed tomorrow. I wanted to prove Simon's innocence personally. I wanted to do it so bad. Even now, I want to fly out of here and go save him. Oh, let's do it. Come to think of it, she said something like that during the Themis Legal Academy trial. She mentioned there was somebody she wanted to save. Yes. She must have been talking about Prosecutor Blackwell. I heard some prison guards say that you had an interview with Simon. How was he? What did he say? Not much. I can't tell her. How can I lie to Athena? He was doing well. He was happy about the possibility of being proven innocent. He was? What if he smiled, like he used to? Plankton! If I can't prove Prosecutor Blackwell's innocence in this trial, I don't think Athena will ever forgive me. I just have to free him. Failure is not an option here. Oh my god. Thought you might be here, Mr. Lawyer. We're in trouble. We are? What is it? I couldn't find a single open courtroom. They're all in session. No, but this is an emergency. It's very difficult to interrupt the trial once it's underway. Oh, some trucy. I told you I'd give you 1 hour. I guess it's time to pick one of the hostages. No, wait, we still have a little more time. Besides, all of the courtrooms are being used right now. Make all the excuses you want, but you won't get more time. Your daughter is first. The poor thing, she's a little too young to die, don't you think? No, don't you dare hurt her. There has to be something I can do. Cruelest injustice is about to befall us. No, this can't be happening. How is Maya supposed to help us here, Pearly? Wait a minute. Maya. We could use the courtroom that's already been bombed to pieces. True. It's not like anyone else is in there. Courtroom. Wow. That's it. There is a courtroom we can use after all. Okay. Time's up. Too bad. Any last words you'd like to say to her? Or, please don't add to the crimes you've already committed. So you know who I am, do you? It wasn't like I was trying to keep it a secret anyway. We're ready to start the trial. We can hold it in the ruins of Courtroom 4. The one blown up by the bomber.
What a wonderful idea, Mr. Nick.
I never would have thought of that. An astonishing trial in an astonishing location. I guess it's only befitting. I'll go get the place ready right away. I didn't exactly pick the place for its astonishing factor. How about it? Are you ready to have your brother's innocence proven? My brother? Oh, I'm sorry. Did I forget to mention? It's not Simon you'll be defending. What? Not Prosecutor Blackwell. I indict Athena Sykes on a charge of murdering her own mother. You'll be defending the little princess there, the one behind the glass. Dun dun dun. See you in that mountain of rubble you've chosen for our courtroom, Mr. Wright.
What is she talking about? Athena?
Of course. Why didn't it ever occur to me before? Prosecutor Blackwell is innocent. Somebody else had to have been the true culprit.
Thank you for the idle time in the past.
Did I kill my own mother? Oh my god. No way. It can't be true.
Mr. Nick, what's the matter?
I see 5 black locks. I've seen these kinds of locks before. Dark black locks protecting a secret hidden deep inside a person's heart. And there's no way to remove them.
Dun dun dun!
To be continued. While technically, episode 5 only consists of one investigation and one trial day. One investigation day and one trial day. You think it might be short, but it's not. Don't be confused. It's quite a long trial day. That's a very good case, from what I remember. However, that means we're going to go into that one fresh next time around, because I frankly don't know how long it actually takes. All I remember is that it's really long. Or too long to really keep going right now. Thank you for this. No, thank you guys for coming by. In honor of it being October, I'll send you guys over to Sapphira, who's playing a more spooky style game than we were doing. And because we've had a bunny theme going, it's called the Bunny Graveyard. So let's go see what that's all about. Thank you so much for coming by tonight. We'll continue with Sophie on the weekend, and we'll finish this one up next week. I dreaded October because you're not big on the horror stuff, I know. But thank you for coming by. I'll see you all soon.
Good night. And bye bye. Bye bye bye.